So welcome to Conscious Reconstruction, where Ash Nora Jones came up with a new intro. Crazy, ain't it? Yeah.
I thought this was be music. When we were assigned this job, do you remember? Remember that? Did we get the email on that? Got the company wide email on that?
You should have.
Or did I miss it?
You missed it.
All right, I'm gonna shut up.
Maybe I missed it too. I don't know.
Never mind, y'all.
It's also a chance that me and him just talked about it.
Oh,
We all talked.
Definitely a good email.
I don't send emails.
I'm glad I'm not alone in this. But go ahead, continue dogging this.
I wasn't.
Leadership skills. Go ahead.
You know what? Why you like this?
No, why are you?
right.
Go ahead. Superb leadership skills, y'all. This is great.
She hostile because I asked
No,
her to
I'm
wear the headphones.
sarcastic.
All I did was ask her to wear some headphones, and now we have to deal with this. I apologize.
Are you apologize to the listeners?
I am.
That was a cool little opening.
Yeah.
That was right there.
But we have a good show for y'all. Ash got some good
Oh,
topics. She said she had like 8 of them. 8 of them things.
I hated them things.
Hanging. Ready to be picked, plucked, and talked about. Yeah. But Jones said he got like some good news for me. So I'm waiting for this good news, Jones.
Is it good news
I
for
would
you?
hope. Let's find out.
I don't know, man.
If it's not
I
good
don't
news
know.
for me, Jones,
You've been kind of.
don't come in here on no bullshit.
I know. I got it.
You
I'm telling you, I got it. I don't know if you're gonna take it as good news. Cause every time I give you something like tech run, you don't take it as good news. You take it as end of the world. So I don't know.
Nigga, E equals MC squared today. What you talking about? Go ahead, man. Hit us with that. Hit us with that.
Y'all hear this, right? All right. I'm gonna start with this though. The our friends the tardigrades, the invincible, indestructible little microbes that we like.
Are those the things who turn into robots?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
It's about to be like
Only
that's
humans
crazy.
have found a way to kill the animal that can't die.
Good job, humans. I guess
Yep.
Why are we like?
we could depend on you for something.
We real good at killing shit. We ain't got to the level of killing things that are supposed to be, semi-immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, and it has to do with them in high temperatures. Like, they can survive being boiled up to like 313 degrees, which is pretty much hotter than most things you have to deal with on this planet. But it's the amount of time they can deal with that.
Oh.
So, like, if one, like, was on some moss and a volcano, lava rolled over it, it's gonna die. Because, it'll go... Because they also take time to go into the catatonic state in which they survive these, like, space or anything like that. So, if they're exposed to it and they don't have enough time to get into that state, they'll die also. So, yeah.
Sorry, bud. So sorry.
Humans. I'm out here killing shit.
I apologize on behalf of some of the humans.
All right. So, yeah. One more on that side, and then I can hop back into some more positive things. Our
Nice.
oceans are warming at about 5 atom bombs worth of energy per second.
That's crazy. I thought she was about to say like half a degree per year.
Nah.
Why do y'all think it's so fucking warm this winter?
I like
The
it.
fucking planet's dying. We know you like that, Ash.
I just don't like snow. I don't know. About anything
And,
else, I'm so
like,
sorry for everything else, guys.
The amount of heat that we have that put into the ocean in the past 25 years equals 3.6 billion of Hiroshima's, A-bombs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, meaning it would be like a bomb worth of energy for like the past 25 years.
How are we doing this?
Yeah. It's just like our planet warming and all that whatnot.
I love the ocean. Damn. I don't want to see the ocean go,
all
but...
love the ocean.
Huh?
I said we all love the ocean.
Oh, it's not just a bee thing.
And last year, the warming was equivalent to about 5 bombs of heat every second, day and night, 365 a year.
Damn.
So every night, about 5 bombs worth of heat, heating up the oceans. And that's why our caps are melting. And
Is there a way that we can fix that or not?
How did you come up with your idea? We about to put a giant air conditioner.
No,
Why not?
Because I don't know what's causing it. I understood what was causing their trash problem.
And
Damn, hurry up and get this new idea for
that
this
is true.
one. I can't wait to hear
And
it.
also, when this happening also puts more moisture in the air, and when typhoons, hurricanes, and things like that happen, it's pretty much like those storms on steroids because of all the moisture in the air, and they're powered by the moisture and the wind or the air and the different air currents clashing. Currently, we have no real way to stop it unless we just like try to like slow down on our emissions and whatnot. Because there's no like reversing the situation really. We can just kind of like try to bring it to a crawl. I mean, it would happen naturally, eventually, but we're speeding up the process exponentially. Just because of our emissions and of fossil fuels, because putting more carbon in our atmosphere, which allows heat and light in, but doesn't allow heat out, which warms our planet.
That's crazy. I'm so sorry, Ocean. But that just got me thinking about I want to say it's in like Gnostic mythology where it's like one big cruel joke, like, so the God that normal Christians pray to is actually your fucking enemy, called Yaldabaoth, I think, and he put humans down here, but then the joke is that he made the oceans, majority of the oceans, salt water, so you can't fucking leave. But he sprinkled like lakes and rivers everywhere. That's the one fat ass cosmic joke, my nigga. That's
Man,
some fucked up shit.
and you know that's sad because when you said that, I started laughing because damn, that's true. Like,
yeah, like think you
it's
can't.
like our
fucking,
planet is what 75% water,
yeah.
and less than 1% is fresh water. Like,
Gnosticism is the shit.
What?
Cause think about it, like who the
We
fuck
can't
would
drink
do
majority
that?
of the water on the planet.
Yeah, like, and then he just sprinkled like peppered rando fucking waters that you can drink from.
It won't be fun if y'all can't survive. All right. Anyway, so on to the next thing. This is more on a positive
I
note.
feel like it'd have been fine if we wasn't dumb.
That's true too. Well, unfortunately,
We dumb and like to fuck.
True. Building materials. So there are the scientists in Colorado, of course, Boulder, and they're working on this study that basically makes these living building materials. It's organic, which could lead to the potential of having, I guess, there's no other way of saying it, like living houses,
like
living buildings and things of the sense.
like with plants and stuff growing outside of them.
No.
I don't know if that would be a possibility. Probably. I don't know.
I've seen buildings in like Japan where they have like the walls covered in plants, but that's what I was thinking.
No. The actual building material is living.
Oh.
And basically,
Like this floor would be alive.
yeah, like the house,
Like made out of dirt or something?
No. Like, let's say.
Live wood? I don't
no.
understand.
Alright, so
okay, the
let's say
building
we took
material
worms.
is sand. Sand is used with it, so it would be sand.
Okay.
Now continue.
So let's say we took like microscopic worms
Mm-hmm.
and figured out how to like
Put them in wood.
engineer them so that they were a structure. That's what that is.
So you just have a slab of microscopic worms. Like how you have a plank of wood, it would just be a plank of microscopic worms.
And sand.
Sand. Basically, it'd be like your house is built of these microbes and sand, because the microbes and the sand together form a solid object, and they are solid enough for you to step on. If you slice one a brick, the brick will grow into another brick. And it would lead to the potential of them sending out, like, let's say they could send you the materials, right? You're going to be in the middle of nowhere. They send you materials. You can put all this stuff together and start building a house literally out of this, because you could take that one and turn that one into however many you need. And then they always multiply. And then they would also be able to fix themselves. So if there's a crack in the wall or some shit like that happens, it'll repair itself.
So my question is, does it keep growing?
No, it's to whatever size it's molded to. So like, let's say you cut it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you cut that piece into like 1 by 1 square, right? It'll grow to that size.
Damn, how you program it to stop growing? I wonder.
It's more about the like humidity and whatnot, and like
okay.
things of that sense. Because if you were like, they can't, like, the way they are now, they can't survive in arid environments. So you can never have these houses in like desert environments and things like that. They're working on trying to fix them, so they'd be a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it about them. They're working on it so it could be a resource that we could use, and it also helps the emissions, or like it helps with the environment, because the buildings themselves would absorb carbon. The microbes that they use, they feed off of carbon. So it would take about 6% of our annual emissions out of the air if our buildings were made of this material instead of what we use. And it creates the main material that's used in concrete and mortar.
I mean, that's a fancy number, but they're not going to replace all the buildings.
No, they're not.
So we're not going to reach 6%.
Is it cost effective?
No.
Did they say it's expensive?
No, it's not expensive at all.
No?
Let me see if they give me an actual number. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No.
It'd be nice if we could tear down all the other buildings, but
Yeah.
that would be a whole lot more waste.
Yeah.
Maybe we can cover all the buildings in it.
That's a possibility.
You said cover them?
Like
Cover 'em
siding.
with what?
Just plant
The
things.
That
microbes.
stuff?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
We could even cover in the buildings. I mean, I guess that would be just beneficial to the atmosphere or the environment. Outside of just like, you know, the building, you still have to repair the buildings yourselves, but we're not really worried about that. That's not what it's for. Environment.
That sounds pretty dope. I don't know if I want my house alive though. I like
Yeah,
inanimate
this
things.
was good news. See, this was like planet saving.
We was going to a positive side over here.
Yeah.
Um,
After I almost cried before we started. Thank you.
they discovered a new animal in the bottom of the Gulf.
Ooh, I love your new animal discovery ones. Those be so fun.
Okay, no, all right.
When
Because
his hand
like
up, it's
people
for
be
your
like,
fucking
because
bowl.
you be like, oh, they discovered a new animal or like a new species. That's what I'm gonna say. And then he was like, oh, what is it? And he's like, oh, it's this. And they be like, oh.
No, you gotta still say it. I'm
All
excited.
right, no, I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Okay.
But so scientists took some dead alligators, right? Just let me get through the story, okay?
You knew you said it. I was going like, what?
They like wrapped them all up and they sunk them. Cause you know, like scientists, they'll sink like whale carcasses, things like that.
Wait, time out. Don't say you know and then say some wild shit after you know, like it's common knowledge. No, we did not know that scientists were just wrapping up dead animal carcasses and sinking them.
Oh,
We don't know what that's for. That sounds weird as fuck to us normal people. So would you please explain?
okay.
It's funny. You know, they just been taking up them dead animal carcasses. No, Marcus, we don't know that.
Yeah, that's not common knowledge.
That's not common. We don't
What
wake up to
scientists
our
would
Google
do,
Play.
so they can get an accurate like look at or try to get a idea of like deep sea creatures. Because they presume everything down there is scavengers. Because you know they eat whatever comes down. So they'll find like a dead whale carcass or something like that.
And feed it to them?
Essentially, they'll sink it.
And feed it to
Yeah.
the scavengers
And they'll send like robot down there or something
to watch them feed.
to watch to see, to watch them feed and watch to see what comes up to the body, like all the different creatures and everything. Because like something like that would be considered like a
Delicacy.
a blessing, a godsend. Like, oh my God, it's a bounty of food. Like we running around like
it's the equivalent of niggas getting $1,000 worth of food stamps each month.
man, look, cause all right, so when I thought about this, like the thought that just ran through my head was like the crabs. Think about it. You a crab, you down here at the bottom of the ocean, you just like sitting. You over here like going through this sand and shit, and you just rolling.
Time out. While y'all talking about crabs, did y'all know that back in the day, like before, like when Castro was like popping and shit, you know, little kids used to dive off of the coast and go underwater and get crabs because they were so hungry. So they would go get crabs, and that's what they would eat. Kids today would starve. They would have no clue what to do.
Oh yeah,
Kids back in the
Venezuela.
day was out there like, you know what?
Fuck
There's food down there. I'm going to go get it. And these like 6, 7-year-olds.
No, you got it. If you 6
and
and 7-year-olds,
diving to go get crab is wild to me.
Riley do be looking at me like, can you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Nigga, can you make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Like it's bread.
It's very simple. But
not
that's what
hard.
they doing in Venezuela. Like he had told after their economic collapse, he had told his people like, yeah, another way y'all should stand off this starving, y'all could go hunt rabbits. Cause we in this together. I'm like, bro, that is not
like,
something
you know,
you say.
back in the day, before we were civilized.
When we had money.
See that
I
rabbit
think-
right there?
I think they
We used
like
to eat those.
millionaires down there, but they can't do shit with their money. Oh my God. It's insane. But yeah, that's
And, you can have all the paper in the world if it.
yeah,
don't
I ain't
mean
gonna
shit
lie.
it
I
ain't
don't know
worth
if Riley
shit.
how far Riley's gonna get.
That's why
With
this
the
whole
starvation.
economic system is trash. It's all made of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's made of make-believe and fantasies.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's weird. But you can go back to your the crabs and everything.
All right, yeah. So I was thinking about crabs, right? You know, You see crabs. If you ever watch like animal shows or anything like that, you see crabs.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah, they
sifting
sit
through the sand.
around.
You know, sifting, and then you know you get this little scent. Yeah, no, you get this little scent. You like, what's that? You know, like you go on this little mission. Depending on how far you away, because animals travel from far. You gotta understand, like something like this is we going.
I didn't know.
This is how they like they find everything, or they try to. One of the ways they try to find everything on the bottom of the ocean, or at least the creatures that'll show up to this.
Okay.
So they've discovered like that's how they first saw the Greenland shark, which is deep sea shark. That's how they discovered the lute worms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the little.
Yeah, see, I just thought they
bastards.
threw a camera down there and it just caught some shit. I had no idea.
Oh no! They do this, and then they'll send a little robot down there and just watch just watch everything
I
that
just thought
visits
they
the
sent
body.
the robot down there just to like watch an area for
Mhm.
like a year.
Yeah, that's what they do with whale corpses. Because whale corpses, like it'll take a whole
but
ass
you
year
see how
for
you
them
keep
to pick
adding
that
the whale
shit.
corpse.
Uh-huh.
There was no whale corpse in our story. Like there was just the robot in this empty area for a year, looking, hoping to see something. Fuck is you talking about? Imagine you keep trying to make the whale carcass shit normal.
Just looking. Well,
I'm not trying to make it normal. I'm just explaining. So then you have the whale carcass, right? And then they'll watch it, and then over a course of time, it'll just go from full whale carcass to nothing but bones. Literally just bones. Everything down there will pick it completely clean. You'll just see like the little like loot worms left, just like swirling around on bones, trying to get like whatever little pieces is there.
Damn. That's crazy. I just gave the crabs in my head like nigga voices when they first seen them. They go from far out. I just give all animals nigga voices because I feel like, you know, what else I'm going to do? They don't have Bob's voice. Hey, guys. It's weird to me.
So what these scientists did was they was like, well, wonder what happens. Wonder if they react the same to creatures that aren't like native. Would they be able to eat these creatures? Would they be able to like get through like an alligator's like tough skin, like scales and shit, right? They took 3 alligators, strapped them boys up, and dropped them. What happened? Same damn shit. They fucked them alligators up. One went missing. Like, they don't know what happened to it. There's like whatever came along and snatched it up. It broke through all.
Alligator don't fucking
like
block.
there's like the whole thing that one alligator with all the straps and everything. The weights was 80 pounds. Whatever came along was strong enough to rip through all that and drag the alligator.
Just gone.
Yeah, and just gone. So they don't even know what happened to that one.
This is why I don't understand why you don't like the deep ocean. There's some gangsta ass shit going on down there. They nigga fish. Come on now.
So then the other 2 alligators were, you know, eaten. The first one was
they ghetto clearly
eaten within a day, and the other one took like 51 days, which is just because like they just took their time, I guess. I don't know. That's just how long it took. And that last one, when they looked at it at the end of the 51 days, there was just bones, but there were like these worms, and these worms were eating the bones.
Nothing goes to waste down there. That's what's up, man.
So they like, oh shit, what are these? We've never seen these before.
Nature be so
Where did
beautiful.
these come from? So now we know about these little worms on the bottom of the ocean.
But these worms don't eat whale bones.
Possibly not. Maybe. I don't know.
The whale bones will get figured out.
It's possible that they just never observed long enough to see this happen, or maybe they're not in that area because this is only in the Gulf of Mexico. They don't know if they're anywhere else. They just discovered them here. So maybe they was like, all right, this shit's picked clean. We done here. And then like 2 days later, the worms got there like, bones.
Finally.
Right. Took us a while. We made it.
But don't nothing go to waste.
Shit, we was in the Gulf.
So even if whale bones still get eaten, I'm sure it don't have no negative effect on the environment. I hope it don't.
But at the
Nature
same
be kinda
time,
lit.
like when you're talking about when you're running around at the bottom of the ocean, right? All these years we've had all these animals, and all these animals have died, and they've all sunk eventually. So when we're down at the bottom of the ocean, and we just see bones everywhere then?
Right. See? Something happening. Something
down
going
there eating
on.
the shit. And now we got these little worms, so that's
I'll fuck with the
Question
fish
marks.
homies. Shout out to the fish homies.
No.
No.
Yep. Yeah, I do.
Why? For the first time, I'm not being morbid. Yo, shout out to nature today. Damn, y'all don't congratulate none of my progress. You know what?
what? I didn't even say anything.
You didn't congratulate her either, though.
I did. I said shout out. Thanks. Thanks, nature.
No, Marcus didn't congratulate you. Is what I was saying.
It's okay.
Imagine you gonna say like you didn't hear me.
I got myself.
All right, so these living robots, right?
That's not what we were just talking about.
Nah,
What the fuck was the house shit that was living?
that's just living building materials. Those aren't robots. They're not like AIs or anything. That's just bacteria on some sand. At the end of the day. All right. So these living robots were created out of stem cells. And like I said, they're not human stem cells because morality. We can't cross that line. At least over here.
I like that. Fucking ethics.
Yeah, this was done in over here in Vermont. Damn, I forgot about Vermont. Anyway,
I forgot about one of the 13 colonies. Shame on you. I forgot about Vermont.
Anyway, so
Connecticut.
using stem cells, they basically scraped stem cells from some frog embryos and created these xenobots. They're a millimeter wide, and they act living, and they are self-healing. They can walk, swim, and work cooperatively. Ooh, almost messed that one up. Refined, they can be used inside the human body to reprogram tumors and deliver drugs and escape out arteries that are like built up from people eating fatty foods. You can clog your arteries. You can send them in and
like a little army.
Yeah, with the scrapes.
Yeah, science be kind of adorable.
Some little
sometimes.
pickaxes.
That's adorable. Come on. It's adorable in my head. They make little noises.
They actually, like, the thing is they're like actually like really living machines.
But if you injected them into somebody's head, they could shred your brains too, right?
I thought I was a dark person.
Okay.
In my mind, they were just squeaking. It was ready to eat your fucking brain matter.
They're not considered a robot, but they're not considered any known species of animal either.
Nigga, they are a robot if you made them.
It's a new class of artifact. A living it's a living programmable organism. Its name comes from, the frog, which is its Greek name is Xenopus. So it's a xenobot because, scraped from stem cells, embryo, frog. It's an African frog, by the way. I don't know if that was important or not, but I want to put that out there.
Put that out there. Shout out to the African frogs.
They can move by themselves as long as they have a liquid medium. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned before, they can repair themselves, heal themselves. They created a body that's never been seen before in nature. If y'all want to see, y'all just have to search stem cells.
It's not on your phone?
Well, I can show y'all. I'm just talking about the audience. Just search stem cell, living stem cell robots.
Right now, we got to go Google on our phone. You can't just turn your phone around and show us what it looked like. It's like, I don't understand. I'm real, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I was upset. I'll be real honest. It's like I don't understand.
Nigga.
Hey, bro, why do I have
to do work right now?
It's literally on your phone. You could be like, see? And you're like, nah, but Google it. No, I will not.
Okay.
All right, I understand now.
I will show y'all. They can decompose after use, so they can be self-destruct in a sense, in which is all right, you did your job. Die.
You did your
essentially
job. Die.
Unlike robots made of steel or plastic or things in the sense that I've talked about previously on the show, because we just keep getting closer.
When the robots get a mind, they're not gonna like that.
Ain't you gonna be on their side? Oh yeah, you would know.
Yeah, but they're gonna be like,
no, he gonna be more like this.
They're gonna be like,
What is this?
What you told me is, remember when you was making us in the beginning and you killed our ancestors, you built them to just fall apart? They're not gonna like that. I'm like, y'all right. They was tripping. I told me I was gonna like, y'all can go back and listen to the tapes. I've been telling them y'all was coming forever.
That is true. They
it is.
They were, like I said, they're able to regenerate, and they can stitch themselves back together if sliced. Outside of medical purposes, we can use them to clean up, radioactive waste, microplastics, things that we are not good at cleaning. And they're not able to reproduce or evolve in any sense that we know. But, as they say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
You know what? I wish that they could eat all of the waste and then climb up volcanoes and then drop themselves in.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if they just made a robot that could just eat all this? Like, they make tiny ass shits now that's super microscopic. Like, make something to clean up all the microbeads. God damn it. Yeah, you're right. Science do be kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I just thought about these issues. I'm like,
Yeah, we have a whole
wait a
lot of
second.
issues, and science is just like, you know
you
what?
can build a house that's alive.
Can we-
I'm not sure that's
Yeah.
not my first priority because I do have somewhere to live. I thank you for that idea, but it's not the top tier idea we're gonna put
I would
out
like
there.
my,
I would like
ocean
my
not to be a
ocean not filled with
bathtub.
trash, please.
or to be a bathtub. I would.
Or maybe you could just cool it down, just a teensy bit.
Yeah.
Like, let's start there.
If it's, how about just one atomic bomb at night and not 5?
Yeah, let's try that.
'Cause
That's
5 seems
real.
like a lot.
That's just me though.
Yeah, I don't know if
How
5 is a
y'all
lot
feel
to
about
y'all,
that?
but 5 is a lot to me. Like after 3, I think we got the point. Like, let's think about this logically. Would you repeatedly nuclear strike someone's one country in the same spot? No. So why y'all think this is cool to be happening in our ocean? That's just it's excessive. Once is enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Let's just tone it down a bit, guys.
Like,
Just,
I'm not even saying none. I'm saying once. Just a little.
you know, 5. Let's bring it to 1.
Yeah.
Ideally,
Yeah, ideally is
2.5. Can we compromise?
And we can do 2.5.
Hit,
Can
like,
we 2.5?
this is it. They, like it happens really quickly, but it's them slicing it and it healing itself.
Robotic stem cells. It's ugly, and then it disappeared. Yeah, the video disappeared, but I see it. Oh, I think.
Then if I drink some more, I have to go pee pee.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Oh, y'all heard me. I wasn't sorry.
Everybody heard you. Podcast
mic.
listeners. Just all of us. Oh,
All
I
of
see
us.
them.
Like-
Oh, I see them.
Yo. Welcome to Conscious Reconstruction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's just like this weird little ball of shit. See, Ash, look at this little ball of shit. Ash is getting drunk right now.
What?
But then you can get that back to Marcus. That's not mine.
Okay.
Well, I figured that you might just hand it back to me out of like natural reaction. I'm like, yeah, that seems like a daisy chain to get it back to Marcus when you're right there.
Guess it stopped. My dude started talking.
Well, it's a video explaining everything, so
Yeah, he be running his mouth. You can't really see nothing in the video, but you get to see the little cornball thing. So it looks like a little cornball, in case y'all were wondering, with spikes. And there's something that looks like a black larva with like a red belly, but it's if you scroll further, I don't know what that is. What is that, Marcus?
it was just a rendering.
Oh, it's what it would look like, or what they think it looks like.
Yeah, like in a 3D version, like a 3D
Oh.
rendering.
This 3D version is disgusting.
It's a shape never like naturally not made. That's what happens when you create a robot out of organic material.
That they now also want to be a life form. Humans are so pressed about creating new life.
I told y'all.
So pressed, like everything is new. Like, did we do it this time? New life this time? This time new life? New life this time, huh? Yes?
No.
No?
No.
You can't take old life and put machines in it and be like, this new life.
Right.
That's not new. That's not how that works.
It's not how this works. That's not any of this works.
Now, if you make a complete machine and it has life, then yes, you've created new life. But you
Facts,
can't.
like, I'm not trying to eat an old cow. Like, give me a new cow or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to eat cow point 2.0.
Exactly. Anything else in science world? You
No, not really.
good? 'Cause science is trash. They ain't never been talking about nobody get no full robotic arm transplant.
I mean, that happened already. That's the thing, though.
No, that looks like a good arm. I don't want the claw.
You don't want
I feel like we talked about this, and I told you that already.
You don't run around and get.
You know, he said he didn't want the claw.
No.
Yeah, I feel like that's weird as fuck. I don't want to see you walking around with no fucking claw.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna take you serious.
Exactly. Who wants that? That's
You're a
wild.
fucking villain. I'm gonna make fun of.
He gonna
Set
pinch.
your claw arm ass up and get the. We got 3 fingers, nigga.
He
Get
gonna
the fuck
pinch
out
you.
of my face.
He just gonna pinch you. To give you a little pinch.
No, I'm gonna have the
you.
greatest
I'ma be
pinch
mad. I'm a
strength. That
dog,
shit
and
gonna
why
be
you
able to crush
punching me, too?
diamond.
Huh?
My pinch strength gonna be able to crush diamond. Fuck niggas up with my pinch.
I'm gonna still make fun of you while you crushing me to death.
Come here. Give me your
Crushing my
finger.
fucking leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna still make fun of
You
you.
fucking pincher. Fuck you.
You know, we're not gonna talk about me being a broke down cyborg because that's not where I'm going with
Yeah, like, I'd be so
this.
mad.
No.
I'm angry for you right now.
Yeah, they need to get to
Nigga,
work.
what?
Y'all doing all
Hold
this
on, y'all
other
did all
stuff.
this and you only gave me some pinchers.
Yeah,
I'm fucking
Imagine
everybody
what would
up.
happen.
That would make me go against my human creators. Look, what is
No,
this?
see, this would get
bullshit?
crazy if they did it from like human cells, though,
Uh-huh.
because then there's potential for a conscious.
Mm-hmm.
That's still
and
not
things
a
of
new
that sense.
life.
No, it's not a new life.
Yeah, they gonna claim it is. Y'all niggas gotta stop cheating. Like y'all whack for real. Y'all can't whip up no new life. Y'all can't get a whole bunch of ingredients, throw them bitches together, shake it up, bake it for 9 months, and be like, bada boom.
Sugar, spice, and
They
everything.
can't get
nice.
their dick hard. They need Viagra.
A little bit of
Fuckers.
chemical X.
Like, I don't know what happened. But we
Bro,
can
they
go
found
on.
chemical X.
What is it?
I don't know. They use it to make the fucking robots.
That's sad.
That's really vague as well.
You know what?
I don't know.
You know what other chemical
Hmm?
just got dumped on school children?
Hmm?
Jet fuel.
Who
Yeah.
dumped jet fuel on the kids?
Delta.
Damn, that's my favorite flight to. Come on now, Delta.
Yeah,
Can you do a
so
little bit better.
Delta dumped.
How?
I think it was like a ton of jet fuel as it was making an emergency landing, and inside of its pathway were several elementary schools and other people. So about a total of 60 people were exposed to the jet fuel, with 20 of those people being children. Yeah, like little kids.
Little kids.
Yeah, so the schools were covered in it. So yeah, fire department
That's a whole ass fire hazard.
getting
Okay.
everybody out. Yeah,
Everything is a fire hazard.
and so
Like, y'all niggas no smoking, done nothing.
and you're only supposed to dump fuel at 10,000 feet because it'll evaporate in the atmosphere. He dumped it at 5,
Mm.
so
Damn,
that's why
kid.
it got on everybody. So yeah,
Slathered in jet fuel.
yep. So there's that. How would you feel if your kid was covered in jet fuel? If the school called you and like, hey Ash,
Good morning, Mrs. Shack. How are you?
so I just want you to know that you have to come get your daughter because she got covered in jet fuel and you probably should take her to the
Stop.
hospital.
Repeat that part again.
You should probably take her to the hospital.
No. I heard the word fuel and jet, and my daughter was covered in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you were gonna say that again, so I could just say good
Don't
morning.
ever run to school.
Yeah, not at all. 'Cause I was
Don't
gonna
be
hit
in
you with the
charge
good
of small
morning.
children's lives, my nigga.
Not at all. Oh yeah, so there's jet fuel on your child, and you should come get her.
That would send me into it.
The fire department is here.
I was. You just gotta throw that in.
Yeah.
No, that would send me into extreme panic.
Delta
Like,
might
oh,
go.
somebody gotta die today.
Delta about to
Y'all
get
better
sued.
pick.
Delta about to get their pockets ran.
Yeah, so that was
Oh,
just
man.
wild. Like, yeah, so that happened earlier this week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I
No,
just was like,
someone might have to die. Somebody had to get hurt. I don't know. Probably most likely somebody at Delta. I don't know. Whoever looked like they fly a plane at that point.
you just going into
Yeah, like you a pilot, nigga.
You a Delta pilot?
you catching these hands for all your homies.
What?
You got to catch it too. I feel that.
Cause I get scared even of like I never had to send my daughter to daycare, thankfully. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong if somebody has to, but like the shit that you hear going on at daycare
Yeah, it'd be wild.
really just
Mhm.
makes
It
me
do.
like, nah. no, somebody's gonna have to die today. I just would be weird. Like, what do you mean? Like, if my daughter came home with a mark, I'm so sorry for all them. Like, somebody, if I can't fight your kids and bring your parent, if I can't push that. I remember when Riley was in the library one time, and this little white boy, she was like, "Mommy, this white boy hit me," and she was like 4 or whatever. So my immediate instinct was to push the white boy because I remember doing this, and then I was like, don't hit my daughter. It was such a reflex, like, because I wanted to hit him in his shoulder. Like, I wanted him to go, ow, but it was like, and I was like, don't hit my little girl. The reflex is so automatic, but I realized I can't fight a kid.
You gonna fight that pilot?
Yeah,
I can't fight you, child.
That's a grown person.
Every time I said, like,
nah,
you can't hit this little nigga. I wanted to.
Oh, just a random fun fact. So, did you know that the only scenes in Power Ranger? Did you guys watch Power Ranger?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Both of
Pew,
y'all?
pew, Sparks.
I'd watch Power Rangers again last year.
Okay.
My nigga just said it did not stop.
Did you know that all the scenes in Power Rangers where they're in their suits are just the Japanese scenes?
Like the original ones, like Mighty
Yeah.
Morphin.
Yep, all of it. That's just Japanese scenes. It's only the American
When they in
actors
high school.
when they're not in uniform.
I mean, I can kind of see that because some niggas was kind of doing for real, like, martial arts. Like, even if it was corny, like, regular ass. But damn, they ain't get no amazing
sounds familiar.
ones.
But I'm gonna act like I don't know, cause I feel like, cause I don't like, cause him saying it, it's like, it sounds like somebody had said that before, but I don't remember who would have said it and when it happened. So maybe it's a false memory, cause I felt like I should have known that. So I'm gonna act like I didn't know, and yeah, all right, you got
so
it.
The creator,
Like, so
the
whatever you
dude
just said,
who,
no.
produced it out here went to the television companies, and the way that he got them to greenlight it was this money-saving technique where they would only shoot the scenes of the kids not in uniform and then use all of the assets from the Japanese show and show all the combat scenes and all the robots and shit like that from there. So yeah, all of that is them.
from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that till today.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Oh, so you learned 2 things.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I did.
Learned that those
Those
niggas weren't
motherfuckers.
really doing none of those fights
Yeah,
and none of
Power
that.
Rangers is definitely a Japanese thing. That's,
Yeah.
we just
What?
had that. You know
Super,
who? You don't
isn't
know
it
who?
Super Sentai?
Yeah.
That's what it's called out there.
That, you know,
That was good old Made in America.
Not at all.
That.
we had Thundercats.
Oh.
I was about to say Voltron. I'm like, no, that's not us either.
No, not at all.
It's a video of the actor that played the black,
Beetleborgs. There we go. That was us.
Power Ranger, and he
Whoa.
he Digimon. No, Digimon wasn't. Anyway,
Like, that wasn't us either.
right? I'm like, damn, this is real slim.
Don't say Pokemon.
There's a video the dude that played the Black Power Ranger, and he's like, what's that break dance? Like, he got his girl with him, and then he meet up with the ex, but they break dance battle over the ex. And then Zach ended up, not Zach.
I mean,
nigga
yeah,
ended up winning.
like I don't, like I knew
That
he was like
shit was hilarious. Like, that shit had me. And then he wasn't even good break dancers.
And you know what's crazy?
It was 90s breakdancing.
Yeah.
Those the only scenes he had.
Yeah. Like, every time this nigga came on,
He
he
just
was
dancing.
dancing.
He never put on a suit.
And his fucking hairline. Nobody had to
throw no
point out that
punches.
nigga's hairline.
Excuse me. we're
Who
not-
lined this dude's
Look,
hair shit up?
Zach
That
was
is.
here. Zach was here for our people. Okay, just let it be.
What culture was he doing it for? I don't know.
Hey, it was cool at that time.
Oh, he was doing it for the 7-year-old culture.
It was cool at that
He
time.
was doing it for the 9-year-old
It
culture.
was. He had the high
Yeah.
top, man.
Yeah, he was fine.
fine, man. He
Yeah,
was cool.
9-year-old. Yeah,
He was
fine.
fly. You ain't
Oh,
see
y'all
the way he
looked up to
dressed?
this nigga.
No.
I am so
No,
sorry.
I wanted to be the Green Ranger,
Okay.
especially when he was evil.
I
The
didn't.
green one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did I really feel like the Black Ranger? I didn't like the Black Ranger until he had the frog.
I
What
only
was your
like
first one?
That was I don't know which Power Ranger. Maybe White Ranger. I didn't like Green Ranger. I didn't like Dragon Zord. I liked the Tiger Zord though.
See, I liked it when he was a bad guy. I thought that was dope.
But then, like I said, I like Black Ranger after the ninja movie, after the first
Oh
movie.
yeah, the fucking
And they
ninja
got
then
guy.
all the animals.
Yeah, all the animals got in there, and he was a frog, and I'm like, oh, that's lit. And then he wasn't black guy anymore. He was Asian.
Yeah, he was. I was supposed to say, I'm like, he was Asian, wasn't he?
Fuck
And
it,
they
it was a
made him
frog.
that
Frog. What y'all talking about?
Like Marcus is like, yeah, but I cared about the frog. So that's
about
why
shit
I
else.
like the White Ranger.
Saw that movie in theaters.
Frog.
What?
This nigga was like, nigga.
I wonder if the movie in theaters. No, they
Don't
had.
they,
They were
like,
probably
more-
in the scene
It's
for that,
like
'cause they probably made that out here.
nanotechnology with the little things. Like, it's.
I don't
It's
know
not
what
like
it's
how
doing
they-
right now.
I've never seen it, but I know I've seen previews.
Of what?
The new Power Ranger movie.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
it's all on all that shit's on Netflix.
I'm gonna just watch it. Riley was really into Power Rangers for a minute too. I was her jam for a while. Ellie, want to watch Netflix? Yeah, Power Rangers. Oh, all right.
Yeah, she don't like it no more.
No, what's she on to now? She just like playing on the computer, little computer games,
That's all right.
and bugging me. She don't bug me. Let me stop saying that. Being a parent is pretty cool sometimes.
So I guess I got to get into some fuckery.
I mean, that happens.
Now that I got rid of all the lighthearted. Well, the one serious topic was first. 'Cause I feel like I probably should mention, hey, y'all dump jet fuel on kids.
I mean, this probably shouldn't be happening.
yeah.
It's just funny as shit. Keep saying that. Jet fuel on kids.
That's
We need to dump jet fuel on the babies.
yeah.
That shit is funny.
That's what happened. But Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter, was charged with 2 misdemeanors for hit and run.
She hit somebody.
No, she hit property and flipped her G-Wagon and then fled the scene.
She just walked away.
Yeah, and then like obstructed like cops from getting like information and shit like that.
Why do people with money think they could just walk away from, like, what made you think nobody was gonna find you? How high was you to just walk away?
Because they just,
Well,
they don't care.
she got 2 misdemeanors, so
She just walked away. Like, yeah.
she's been charged with them.
I'm
say.
good.
She doesn't have them yet. She's been charged. But yeah,
All right.
so that's what's happening with Lori Harvey.
Okay.
Everybody else.
walked
Oh,
away.
also, people are talking about Lori Harvey and Future and how Future just did this like, what is it called? Future is being quote unquote romantic for Lori Harvey and like did this like whole little runway with rose petals on both sides and some candles and it led to a bed with like a rose petal heart and she like Instagrammed it. But he's literally done the exact same thing for the last 2 women
That
he's
just
with.
sounded so corny. I'm like, okay. I mean, is it the thought that counts? I don't know. If I tell y'all that's corny, if I told my man that was corny, should I
Hey,
tell him that's corny?
Hey, I got a question.
Why is that corny to you?
Hey,
Because that's all over Instagram. Like, you ain't had nothing new to present yourself. Like, yeah, she gonna love this shit. You think I'm dumb, basically. Bitches love roses and hearts. That's so
she
basic.
loved that shit. She posted
She
it
sure
on
did.
Instagram.
How is that not romantic? You say you don't think it's romantic?
I think it's basic romance. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's bad. Never mind. I feel like, goddamn, I can't knock you for trying.
Yeah, you seem real upset with it.
He wasn't trying.
I am not. That wasn't a good. That wasn't a good like marketing scheme for me as a
know what Future
partner.
was doing? Future, that's Future's
Brittany, Joey,
pregnancy.
and Lori. Yeah, those are the scenes. All 3 scenes that he did for each woman. They're all equally happy. So I feel like, is it a problem if everybody's happy?
This nigga gonna do that shit.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, one, I don't know what's wrong with, like, flowers and rose petals. You just don't seem like you're that type of woman.
I like flowers.
Okay.
No, like I don't.
So
I don't
what's
know what
wrong
to
with
say.
this?
There's nothing wrong with it.
But you just shit on it.
Yeah, because it's like
So there's clearly something wrong with it if you just shit on it. I don't
it's
understand.
just not original. Because we not. I mean, you rich as fuck.
I mean, but see, they probably think he is rich as fuck, and he took his time to do this. To arrange all
Probably
this.
pay somebody to do that. That's why I'm so mad that Future just. That's why I'm like, this is not. Somebody lit up them
I'm
damn
trying to tell you,
candles.
man, that's Future's goddamn breeding ritual.
See, though, like, it's just not original. Like, come on now. Come on. Is it really from the heart? I guess that's my problem. Baby. Is this really from the heart? If it's from some... Nah, don't do that to me. I was thinking, like, I don't want my man to do this. Do something else.
But what if
what should he do?
Technically just
not
doing
for me.
what he
I'm
know
not
they
gonna tell
gonna
you
like.
what I want. I don't know what other women want. One of the women probably think this is the best thing ever.
If Future was talking to you, maybe he'd just surprise you with some random shit. Because that's what will work. Maybe it's just what they like. So he's like, I know what she
basic.
like.
What the fuck?
No one said they wasn't.
That's why you feel like it's basic.
Because it's basic. Like, you just went on Instagram, was like, yeah, this it right here. And then did it.
So you feel like he just got the idea from Instagram?
Yeah, where else you gonna get it from?
So what is something romantic that's original, in your opinion?
I don't know.
Oh my god, just like a woman. I hate this.
They don't know it's
suggestions
original.
of things that could be done that are different.
Ask another
no
basic
idea.
bitch with the
They don't know it's
No,
original.
I said things that
until
you
it's
might
that
like.
I think would.
Yeah, not basic bitch shit. Clearly you don't like this. You think this takes no effort. So what are things that you, or what is one gesture that you like? This would take some effort, or something that would be nice.
I like car rides a lot. Something with a car. Something with a car and music would be really cool. Like, you just bought me a whole bunch of vinyls or some shit. I do love candles. Don't get me wrong. You could light a few candles.
So what if he made you a playlist and like wanted to go on like a late night car ride with you?
That would be hot.
Okay, so
That's cool. And then
So
we
basically
ate somewhere between there.
just like a woman added food. To
We could have some food.
Also feed me.
Yes, feed
Oh
me,
my
nigga.
goodness, I saw something. Oh, this robot. I was watching this anime the other day, and this robot had the greatest quote because he had just got to Earth, and so he was around all these women that were at this barbecue, and they're in their bathing suits, obsessing about how they wanted to eat all the food, but they also didn't want to gain weight and be fat and had to like wash their figure.
My nigga.
And he was like, this is highly illogical. Y'all want to consume all of the food, but you don't want to gain any weight.
I don't see what the problem
And I
is.
was like, that is women in a nutshell, my nigga. Yes, they want to eat all the food, but gain none of the weight. And it's always a struggle. They're always mad that they gained the weight.
Yeah.
Like 1 + 1 don't equal 2.
What's wrong
That's
with
because
that?
they
I
be
don't
dividing.
understand why
They
y'all
don't add, they
think that's not
divide.
normal.
Yeah, so no, that
Clearly.
shit was just hilarious to me.
Yes. What the fuck? This shit is unfair. It's not fair. I can't eat what I want. The fuck type of bullshit is this?
Why?
Dumb.
But yeah, so eating in the middle of
I don't know. Like, it just, like you said, I'm just want food. But no, that would come from the heart. Like, oh, all of this is
So
how you
basically,
feel
just
about
something
me.
that's like more tailored
in
to
a
you, where they
car.
show that they know who
Yeah,
you
'cause,
are as a
I
person.
mean, I wouldn't shit on nobody if they did that. But if you're dealing with me,
But what if they just met you
if they just met me,
and they did this for you?
like 3 months in,
2 months in.
that's a lot. Is that moving too fast? I don't know.
How?
I'm asking. Like, am I asking myself, is that,
Are you
would
fucking
that
him
scare me?
inside this 2 months, or no?
Am I fucking him inside of 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How long did it take me to fuck somebody?
I don't know. I mad you asked me like.
She just asking
Takes you
herself.
a year.
Look, you just sent her
Yeah,
into
like-
like a lot of questions. She been asking herself all these questions.
No one's
now.
ever asked me questions before.
I'm sorry.
Like, huh. I never thought about that.
Cause I'm like, if y'all already,
If we not fucking and he do all of that,
y'all might be.
Are y'all now fucking?
no, if he doing that, he probably got some. Let's just be real. That's a lot of effort. But, what was the question again?
If y'all just met and he did this, would that be cool?
Yeah, it'd be surprising. But if we were just into it,
Well, I really don't think that he knows any of these women.
yeah. That's
Like,
why it was just like,
We
is
know
this really
Lori
from the
Harvey
heart?
has. I feel like we just talked about Lori Harvey last week.
I don't remember. This is my first time hearing her name.
We talked about her.
We didn't talk about how she dated Diddy's son, and then dated Diddy, and then dated like Trey Songz.
No.
That
Future.
We talked about that a while ago. On like last week.
Maybe it was on the other show.
I think
That's
so.
possible.
I've never heard.
Because
Talk
Because
about
I know
all-
what you're talking about.
Because those are all hip hop. But yeah, so she dated all those people,
Oh, okay.
which I think is kind of weird that you dated Diddy's son and then Diddy.
Right.
Like, granted, you dated Diddy's son a while ago, but all the other shit is recent.
How would y'all feel if y'all son came home with the bitch you fucked? How would y'all feel about
I would
that?
tell him.
You tell him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep it a secret.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah.
you ain't already crashed this.
What if he did?
I'm now
What they
Eskimo
official?
cousin. I'm
With your
now an
son?
Eskimo cousin with my son. That's hella nasty.
So-
Bitch, why are you fucking my son? What's wrong
Right.
with you?
You knew he was my son.
What's up with you?
What if she
What if it
didn't
was the
know?
opposite? What if you fucked her after your son fucked her? You didn't know. What if you did know?
No, that's nasty.
would
but
if
I
I
wouldn't
knew.
if I knew.
Yeah, okay.
So
What if you
I
didn't know?
didn't know,
And
I'm
then,
mad.
and you brought her home. Like, yeah, that's my girl.
That's why. And my son told me that he had her. I'm like, oh, you gotta go.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh, she gotta go. She can't stay.
So me and my son gonna be looking at each other like, damn, look how we had you. We gonna be sharing stories about you. Is that what's gonna happen? How does that
That's
sound?
nasty.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly why you have to leave.
It was
Exactly
like-
why you have to leave.
Nah, it fucked up. You like,
No, nigga, I don't
But
want to hear you talk
Dad,
about how good she sucked dick. That's
we
not.
getting
that's not
married.
me.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. No,
y'all doing what? Nah, she gotta go.
No, I don't
I'ma
want
get
that.
rid of
I-
her.
I'm not being there. I'm not going.
Where your mom at?
No, that shit is nasty. But yeah, so yes, if they don't know you, but if they do know you for a while, then that shit's not okay.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. That's what you're saying. I
My
mean, you
nigga,
said
don't
okay.
ever do that again. I thought you were talking about the Diddy thing.
Oh no. I meant the future thing. So if they don't know you, y'all are just like,
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
It's not the
cool.
greatest thing ever,
it's not the greatest thing, but
but it's okay.
you're appreciative of it.
Yeah,
And
thank
if
you.
you've been together for a while, you're like, nigga, you know that's not really my vibe and what I would particularly like, and so you didn't use any thought, so I'm mad now.
I wouldn't be mad, even if I wouldn't be mad, but I'd be like, I probably wouldn't say anything though, 'cause that's rude, I guess. But I don't think that the person that's gonna be with me would be like, oh, roses and candles. It's not really Ashley. Like at this point, come on.
Like you just gotta know.
Yeah,
Now you
It's
like
some-
roses and candles.
I like roses and candles. I don't know if I want them all sprinkled everywhere.
Why?
You gotta be in the bath. You come in the bathtub. That's
I wonder who
cool.
cleans that up.
You never. Oh, never mind. You're not a chick. But I'll put roses in my bathtub just by myself.
What?
Hmm?
I thought you were like, what? No. Why would I need rose petals in my bathtub?
Never done that. Never gave yourself some self love and self care.
I do all the time, but it doesn't involve rose petals.
Dude.
Do they have some type of healing property that if you put them in water, they heal you?
Yeah, roses like metaphysically it represents like love and stuff.
No,
Okay, this is why
you got metaphysical on me, and I wanted you to tell me about the physical.
This is why.
Is it gonna make my legs?
Why you
not
ain't woke
sore?
enough.
You right?
You're not woke enough to understand this shit.
You know what? We
Uh,
should
Shea
change woke
Butter.
to rise. Niggas trying to rise this 2020. Niggas trying to rise all 2020.
All right.
Go with one of your Shea Butter babies. They'll tell you.
Niggas was so woke all 2019 and last decade that they fell asleep at midnight and they trying to rise in 2020.
Super woke.
You know. Oh shit!
Hell no.
Y'all want to hear something else that's funny?
Tekashi
Tekashi 6ix9ine sent a letter to the judge asking to finish doing the rest of his jail time at home because he doesn't feel safe in jail.
This nigga went to jail from home. Nigga, what?
Yeah.
That nigga went to jail from home.
He said, "Can I go home? Because I don't
That's
feel
not
safe."
you're not in jail then.
Bro,
Like,
you don't understand
you
the
on
point of
house
jail
arrest.
is to be uncomfortable and not like it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't like it here, and I don't feel safe, and I want to go home.
You sound like a whole 12-year-old.
Yeah, he wrote a letter.
Musicians do be asking for the weirdest shit. I feel like that's only like
What made him
A
feel
music
like
industry
that?
thing.
Like that was just like
An option.
that. Yeah. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write a letter. They gonna let me out this motherfucker.
I'm
What?
going home. He's like, I want to serve the rest of my
Niggas write
sentence
letters
at
all
the
the
house.
time.
Yeah,
They still in jail.
he said I'll serve my sentence at home.
Oh, remember they did
Nigga,
that
what?
in Daredevil, where they had to move Wilson Fisk into his own house, and then
I'm mad this nigga was watching Daredevil at night.
got the idea
on the prison TV. And
Yo,
it's
they
like,
moved
they
this
could do me
nigga.
like that.
That
They
shit
could move
was
me in the
crazy.
house.
That
I'll just go
reminded me of that.
home.
And chill. Like, remember he
Yeah.
had his whole luxury setup. He had niggas in there designing, like bringing like luxury ass paintings and vases.
Yeah, so he figured he's like, I'm gonna just be at the house
Okay.
and I just won't leave. No.
Won't go nowhere.
So shout out to
That's staying in the
Daredevil.
house.
That
No.
nigga, yeah, but no. The fact that he was just like, I'm gonna go home.
I want to
And-
do this at home.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be great, everybody?
I wish I could do it at home.
Oh yeah, I bet
Like,
everybody.
like-
would.
Everybody get home.
Yeah,
Fuck, I'm
and
here
kicking
for
it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just not gonna do this here. I'm gonna go to the house.
I'm about to
And
I'm about to watch Nickelodeon and eat breaks, nigga.
it's still gonna be. I'm gonna still be in prison, but from my house. You get it?
Cool, kicking
That's
it.
insane.
Yeah. Oh, you.
No, I
Bitch.
can't shout out to Kashi. I'm sorry, Kashi don't get no shout outs.
Yeah, no, he wild.
Not
Like
at all.
you wanna
This nigga. Oh, that nigga. Oh.
out of fear of the bloods. Yeah, he
I like
wants
that.
to go
That's
home.
That's what you got yourself into.
Yeah, bro. What did you think was gonna happen when you snitched on everybody and then you still had to go to jail?
All right, you think Bloods go to special prison, man? Yeah, you think they go to Blood prison? No, they go to all of them.
You had a better chance of writing a letter and asking for solitary confinement.
Looking at Takashi's face, I think niggas with face tattoos look so dirty. They do. They're just like, nigga, what? Y'all better not ever get no face tattoo. I swear to God.
Never. Yeah, no. Yeah, so they wanted time served, so now they're trying to get this nigga to go home because he don't feel safe.
I think I gotta do how many months? 6 months.
7 months and 12 days.
Gotta get that shit over with. Stop whining.
Yeah, so he wants to go home. And they mad because the judge didn't let him go home after he did all that snitching. They're like,
I just don't get
they
it.
said
Like,
time served. No, but I said a year, so.
I just don't understand. Yeah, you just want to do. You just don't want to suffer gangsta ass consequences. Like, pick one.
Yeah. And then Shadi sending messages to his enemies from prison. I don't know why. Yeah. 15 years is a long time.
Hell of a long time.
Yeah, see? Yeah, so Shadi is sending Instagram threats to. The fact that niggas in prison got Instagrams is wild to me.
Some dude tried to hate me on me from prison Instagram.
But yeah.
Niggas in prison got a lot of shit.
So Shadi being the whole gangster in prison, telling his enemies that they need to be prayed for, while he behind bars, and 6ix9ine is trying to run away from the prison. So
These niggas, that could never lead my life.
yeah,
What would make you be like, yeah, I'm gonna write a letter to these niggas on Instagram? Ugh, what?
yeah, no, but yeah, that's what's happening with them, and I just thought that was hilarious that this nigga was like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to do this no more. Y'all said if I talk to y'all, that I could go home.
Nope.
And I had to go back. I don't want to go back. Y'all said that I didn't have to go back. Y'all said I could go home. I don't feel safe here. Can I go home? Is it time for me to go home yet? No?
No.
Who do I gotta ask? Can I go home? Who can say yes?
God, this shit.
Yeah, right. This nigga mad as fuck. Just in prison, just asking like, so when can I go home?
This nigga throw the sporks on the ground. This nigga just mad
I
getting his
don't
food.
eat this. I want to go home. I'll do prison time at my house. I go home. I go home now.
Remember the niggas that couldn't, like, not that they couldn't fight, but like say somebody did something to you in class and you couldn't fight back because you're a teacher, and the nigga just be sitting there crying. Like, that's what Tekashi.
Yeah, Tekashi just mad in prison,
crying with his fist balled in class, shaking the desk. Just wanna go.
Nigga in the back just talking shit.
He really just wanna leave. It's like he keep picking on me. I just want to go home. Everybody keep talking to me.
Yeah, I just want to punch this nigga in the face.
I don't talk to nobody.
Talk to me.
I'm Tekashi. Treyway.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know he done relapsed a couple of times. The same accident.
You know, wait till this nigga got out of prison. If he actually is contracted for an album, man, bro. I swear.
telling you.
I know. I just.
Bruh, you can't say nothing gangster when you ask him to go home.
Not all. His whole album better be begging for forgiveness.
Yeah, you know, you gotta be asking for everybody to like be nice to you,
whole track.
Forgive you, and apologize for all the bullshit you was doing.
Apologize to everybody.
Because you say you a gangster, when I see you, I'm gonna smack you in the mouth because you can't say I won't go home because you in prison.
Tekashi,
and still be a gangster. That's what his new album should be called.
I want to go
I
home.
want to go home. He should release it from prison. It'd be amazing.
Oh my god!
I'm telling you, it'd be the best album in the world. I will go home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I was like, oh, this nigga about to do all the telling now. He about to get into that real telling bag. Before he was fake telling. He's like, shit, no, I won't go home. And so I didn't do enough telling before, but let me tell some more.
What else you want to know about? I told you about niggas that wasn't even linked to this shit.
He did. Right. He did. So let me give you more information about them. If I tell you more about them, can I go home? How can I go home? I won't be here no more.
Can I trade spots?
That's like when you know when you was a kid and you went to spend the night at your friend's house
or your cousin's house and they make you mad
and you didn't want to be there no more, but you couldn't leave because your parents wasn't coming to get you and they wasn't taking you home.
They was two-stepping somewhere.
But yeah, right. You won't go home, so you just sitting in somewhere in the corner pouting.
Yeah, with your fucking arms crossed.
That's this nigga Tekashi. I won't go home. It ain't nobody.
Don't talk to me.
And
your cousins be fucking with you.
Yeah, right.
You over there fucking crying for.
You know what's even more fucked up? The fact that this got out. The fact that he asked to go home. The niggas in jail probably saw this too. If they got Instagram, they saw this. They're like, oh, so you won't go home.
We all want to go home, little bitch nigga.
Just like your cousin. You want to go home? Yeah. What you want to go home for? You want to be here? We don't want you here. No way.
Yeah, no, they was just. So, yeah, no, that's just wild that Tekashi is writing letters so he can go home.
So he can go home.
I don't know how else you want me to say it.
Because after you kept saying, I want to go home. I can't not say it that way now.
I won't go home.
I want to go home.
I won't go home.
Go home.
I want to post that shit on Instagram.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
I've had one of those moments. Like,
I have too.
It was the first time that I had spent time alone with my dad. That was terrible. I made a very bad decision. I was like 14. It was right before school started, and I had just moved out here to Cleveland. And so, you know, I was close, and he talking all this good shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go up to fucking Buffalo, New York and spend time with him. No. Day one of me being there, I went to sleep, I woke up. I won't go home. Come and get me. I won't go home.
What did he do? Nothing? Was he not there?
He was just trash. Like, he did a whole lot of like promise making to get me to agree to come to Seattle, and then those promises, or not Seattle, but to Buffalo, and those promises then turned out not to be true. He's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be working with me, you're gonna have a little job, I do this construction, you've been coming every day and all this, and then he had me at the house with like little kids and shit. And I was like, I didn't come up here to be stuck in the house all day with random kids that I don't know.
And he had no siblings and shit.
Yeah.
That's still not fair, though.
But, yeah, and I had no siblings before. And they keep talking to me.
They keep talking to me.
I hit the phone.
They keep saying words in my direction.
Yeah, I was like, I won't go home. I won't go home. She was like, my mom was like, you sure you don't want to just try and stick it out for a little longer? if you don't come get me, I'm calling my grandma.
Somebody come.
And my grandma will send a ticket for me because she hates this nigga. I want to go home. So one way or the other, somebody is coming to get me or making sure that Tony can go home because Tony's not doing this.
That's funny.
For another minute. So she came and got me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was not staying. I vehemently refused. I'm no longer being here. I don't like y'all. I want to leave.
Some niggas was talking to him. I just want to imagine this nigga's face like,
that just.
I'm hungry. Oh.
Like, I have a stepsister, and I love my stepsister. Like, she's great. But when I was younger, and during that situation, that's not what I came here for.
Right.
I came here for a specific reason. And the person that brought me here is now no longer here. I'm with people I don't know. This is the first time I'm meeting y'all, and I've just been left alone with your wife, who I don't know, and her 2 children, who I don't know. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Y'all can come get me.
Right.
I was meeting people and doing cool shit in Cleveland. I'll figure it out. I can make friends. I don't want to do this. So yeah, no, that was my I want to go home moment, and I went home. Unlike Tekashi, I got to go home. He will not get to go home because you got 7 more months of that. I couldn't imagine having to be stuck.
Right.
Could you imagine being stuck at your cousin's house for 7 more months after you said I want to go home?
Them niggas, I would get cut.
So pissed.
And they would have no Band-Aids. And my mother always had like a full stock of first aid.
Ain't that the worst
kitties.
shit? Like when you go to somebody else's house and
And
just
like
it's
when
not
I had a
your house.
headache and then, here, take some fucking something. And I would hate to go over there because I had frequent headaches as a kid. I would suffer. Like, what do you mean? And then when I got cut one time, it's like, yeah, just wrap a sock around it.
What?
That's dirty.
That's wild.
Now I'm talking about no small ass, like you scratched yourself. I'm talking about like, whatever the fuck I was doing. Maybe I hit it on something. I just remember like a lot of blood and being like, here goes a sock.
Those don't go
I
together.
can't do this.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
No. That's I need to go home.
I need to go.
No, because the cousins is like, nah, you don't. We related. You fine.
Need to get the fuck out.
Yeah, they would have no like. Oh my god, they mom would just be gone and you would see her pop in, and then she would leave, and there was no food. I couldn't stand. I love my cousins, don't get me wrong, but the conditions some niggas was left in, and then we was seeing it stuck up because we didn't have to deal with any of that shit. Like, no, it's just food, and my mom and dad's downstairs, and like we don't have to do any of that. And then we come along like, here they go. We ain't do nothing. I'm sorry.
Honestly, all my mamas were just like me at random people's houses. Like it was always when I was younger, in which I couldn't just like walk out the door and just go. So I just go over to somebody's house and I'd just be there, and we'd be cool kicking it because like I had a friend that lived out here in Cleveland Heights. I lived in Shaker Heights. I'm like 9. I'm not getting home. I'm stuck in the house. I'm irritated. What was it? I think his mother did something or said something. Because she and his stepfather, I believe, got into it and all this whatnot. And it made the house uncomfortable. And I didn't want to be there no more. But it was like hella late and my mama wasn't coming out the house. That was dead. So I was just stuck.
Yeah, I want to go home.
I appreciate it, yeah.
I hitchhiked my way home from my cousin's house one time when I was like 14 or 13.
I've done that before, but
I
begged
begged
had to
for
be
money
older.
from people because I had a buy grade. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I got to do, but I got the fuck out of here. I was begging. How much was one-way fare? Like $1 or something at that time. I was begging people at the Walgreens for money to go home. I got the money to go home. And when they got there, they was like, Ashley, where did you go? I'm like, you niggas just left me here, and I keep telling you I'm not comfortable here. So Ashley hitchhiked her way home. She panhandled her way home. Yes, I took the 14 downtown and then whatever, the 22 back to my house. I was not doing it. I begged. That was the first time I've ever panhandled. And I could get away with it, too, because I was crying. I'm like, could you help me get home, please? Here you go. It's $5. Thank you.
Got it. That's it right there. And some snacks.
I was at the Walgreens too. I'm like, I do got a headache.
There was one time I spent the night on my friend's house, and it had to been like 2:00 in the morning. Now you know you a little kid. I'm like, hey, you want a blanket? I don't want a blanket. I'm cool. Whatever, I don't need a blanket.
He was lying.
No, because it was early. It was like a lot of us in the room. We all just kicking it. Now you know how I just get cold in the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah, you out here without a blanket.
I'm the only one out here without a blanket. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I wake up and I'm just laying there. I'm just. Oh my god, it's so fucking cold. I'm just shivering.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my god. I just wanna.
You're trying to steal somebody's blanket, like move over, nigga.
No, cause we was like, cause he like big upstairs.
Okay.
So we was like kind of spread out. So it was no one around us. And his brother was one of the asses. And he's like, you want a blanket? I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, don't ask me on a blanket. He went into his room, closed the damn door. I'm just out here without a blanket, cold as fuck out here on this floor.
Shit, I'd have found my friend and cozied up next to him.
Exactly, and pulled
This
the blanket
your house?
off.
You the one that's sharing.
Move over, nigga.
Or
Nigga
you
see
waking
head
up to go
toe.
get me one because you know where they at.
Oh, I'm still in blankets at this point. There's no fucking way.
I eventually fell asleep.
Oh yeah, you ain't got no choice.
But I was up for a couple hours.
Your
It's
cousins
cold.
been giving you life experiences. Like,
I don't
like
think
no
I've
other.
ever had any of those. Like, because my house has always been like you can come to my house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always been really quick to recognize when I'm going over your house to play. You don't have all the things my house has. You want to come to my house? My house has all the things.
No, that's how our house was. Like, and my mother was sparing no expense to get my little brother every fucking console. Ours would be full of niggas playing fucking, what is that, Smash Brothers? Oh my god, the smell from that room.
See, we were
Dirty ass
we
little
were,
boys. They
Sega
like my brothers now,
Genesis,
but
Dreamcast, Sony house.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we would all come over, play the PlayStation.
Then remember the
Armored
Dreamcast came
Core.
out? Oh my god.
I was so mad. I was always jealous of the Dreamcast because I didn't have it. My little cousins had it,
Oh yeah, we had one.
and
Yeah, I
my
never
uncle
owned
had
it.
got it from him. And my uncle is part of the community that got Dreamcast just like ruined because he got his homie to get him some type of little download. They had them with all the games, so they could just play everything, and it was for free
Yeah. Yeah.
because they had like an easy system that was crackable. And
Yeah.
so I was always salty. I was like, man, they have all the games. I don't got nothing. I would be hella pissed. I'd be real honest. I was salty as shit. Them was the.
I just
to be
never had a
honest, those was the
Dreamcast.
only niggas that would be like, lightweight make me jealous. It's like I always had like all this shit in comparison to everybody else that was around me.
Yeah.
But then my cousins, because my uncle was like super flashy, would always have like a little extra every once in a while.
We had
Where's this shit?
everything. The niggas
Like
would
my
be
cousins
so.
had a go kart.
Nigga, what?
Yeah, my uncle
ain't
just
never
bought
had
him a
Just
go
because he
kart.
wanted to be extra out here.
Yeah, just because he wanted to have one, and he never like kept it at the house that he stayed at. He always kept it at his house.
Mm-hmm.
Because my uncle's also like that. Like, he would get you some nice stuff, but he would keep it at his house. Cause
You come play with it.
He wanted to break it. That was his reason.
he real like he real persnickety and everything got to be clean, and so he would bring it over and let him ride it. And so it's his, and my cousin would be like, no, you can't ride it. And so
This nigga's still mad at that shit. You can't ride it. He's here, I'm sure reliving that one.
hell yeah. So you got to remember the times.
Oh, you saw the emotion in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't ride it.
Well, badass
You can't
fuck.
ride it. Fuck you.
Pretty much. That's exactly how I used to feel. Fuck you. And he got him a BB gun, and they refused to get me one.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's just like little shit that he would get. Like, it was never like anything like major. Like, we always had all the same game. Or like, if he had a game system, I had a game system. His dad just got him the game system where you could get the hack and get all
Right.
the games. But I had hella games. It was just like, but you have all the games. All the games.
Right.
Like,
Yo, being a spoiled kid be lightweight horrible because now you were just expecting things.
yes,
Like,
yes.
I was
it
such a
is.
spoiled kid. Like, what? Like, I remember one Christmas, my father and mother always spoiled all of us. It's not just like a me thing. And then like my grandmother would get us like dollar store toys, and my grandmother from that point on, she never bought us anything because we would be looking at it like, we know where you got this from. We're not stupid.
You know the difference.
And then I remember my mother saying like, yeah, your grandmother was really upset with y'all because y'all was like, oh, this is not the quality things that we've been getting all these years. I don't understand why you think we should be appreciative of this shit. But then I realized like one of my issues was because of that, now I'm expecting things to be handed to me. Like even with my life goals, like, why don't you have $5,000? Shouldn't someone just give it? So that's on a subconscious level. Like, why am I not doing things? Why do I feel like things aren't moving on fast enough? Because really, deep down, I'm still like this spoiled kid who think things should just be thrown at me, and I don't have to work for a lot of it. Like, I'm not a lazy person, but some things, like, if it feel like it's too much effort, shouldn't it just be given it to you? Yeah, that's some subconscious children shit.
Well, I can definitely say, like, everybody in my family is pretty sedity. Mm-hmm. So, like, I've never really received a gift like that. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten clothes for Christmas when I was a little kid. And it only happened one time. Because when they got me the clothes, I was like, oh, a new pair of clothes. Thank you. And I put them back in the box. And then all the adults knew that I was trying to be polite. And not hurt his feelings. And that hurt his feelings even more, that
you had
a 5-year-old
you had to force that shit out.
Trying to be polite.
That I'm going to save your feelings, sir.
Yeah.
Because my feelings right now.
Yeah, so he never bought me clothes again. It was toys and, like, whatever I wanted from that point on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I can definitely agree with, like, now I do have a certain sense of entitlement in certain regards where it's, like, not like things should be handed to me, but if things aren't moving in the direction I feel like they should be going, I'm like,
yeah, what the fuck is this shit?
Like, what's happening?
Yes,
right
like,
now?
why am I not getting what I want? That shit. And I really read
everything else is not doing the right things. And if y'all would do the right things, we would all be happy.
Yo, that no
AKA,
shit.
I would be happy.
Still be like,
what is
this?
that.
No, what? What do
Being
you
told no is so complicated.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
when you was about to leave, he was like, yeah, you got to go with me. The fuck? I took off my shoes and everything. He just told me no. I'm like, I don't vibe with this. Nigga, vibe check. What's going on?
And I hate being told no.
What is this? No? Yeah, that's why I got to end up with a bougie nigga, because they know how to get things, because they don't really accept no for an answer. If nobody else gives it to them, they'll probably get it themselves.
And that's how I had to be. Like, when I was younger, I would probably say maybe 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, well, I would say 17, 18, 19, and a little less than 19. But I expected things to kind of be handed to me. And I had to kind of realize, y'all niggas not doing it right. Fuck this. I'm going to just get everything I want myself, because y'all don't know how to act.
Yeah.
And then y'all can't say shit to me. And so it's like me being a spoiled child and having a tantrum. But the tantrum is me doing everything that I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
So no one can talk to me. And I was like, no, you shut up.
Yeah, when I was like 14 or 15, I started like.
You don't get to tell me, because I did it.
When I started earning my
So
own
you
money.
tricked yourself into doing what you were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Because then no one can tell me.
Yeah, that was how, like, what do you mean? That's when I started earning my own money. Like, okay, I'm going to buy this. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like, no is inconvenient.
But at the same time, it's like, if somebody tells me no, then it's like, okay, you said something out of your mouth, but that don't mean I'm not going to get it.
I don't like to be told no. Me and my
Not many
cousin
people do,
used
though.
to tell people that they were pronouncing yes wrong.
Spell yes.
You are pronouncing yes wrong right now.
Oh, man.
It's pronounced yes. Yeah, no,
Oh, so many tantrums. My first car that my parents bought me my first car. I threw a tantrum over that bad boy because it was a Dodge. It was a Blazer, Chevy Blazer. That was, I don't even want to talk about that because that's how embarrassing. That's how bad I was.
Yeah, no, see, I was better. I was.
I'm not about to talk about how fucked up that situation was.
I wasn't.
Because I realized your parents bought you a car at 17, and I threw that was so bad.
That's not the fucking car I wanted.
It was like some Sweet 16 shit. I promise you that. Like crying, like I was in the backseat crying, like why would y'all do this to me? That's how bad it was. That's how bad that shit was.
Let my kid tell me, why would you do this to me?
They looked at me like, what are you talking about? They watched me melt down.
I'd have been like, you know what? You're right. I apologize.
Right.
Just give me the keys back. I shouldn't have done this.
What do you
I'm
mean?
going to fix it. I'm going to fix it right now.
I'm gonna go
go
get
fix it.
exactly what you
And
want.
then you're never going to see the
Right.
video
Never gonna see that
in
car
that again in your life. And you're going to be back on the bus. Because you
I
got
mean,
me
you see
whole
how
ass
embarrassing
fucked
that
up.
story is for me to realize how much growth I went through. That my parents bought me a car and I threw a whole tantrum because it wasn't the car I wanted. That was really like at first I used to, when I was watching Super Sweet 16, like, you niggas is. And then when it happened to me, I realized, oh.
Well, I guess
I get it now.
I wasn't like, so I was spoiled, but I also saw my cousins being spoiled. And since I felt like they were more spoiled than me, I had an issue with that and felt like I wasn't spoiled.
Oh, I ain't got the good life. What you niggas talking about? I got an Xbox with only one controller.
Yeah,
Tough out here.
basically how I was. And so I was.
The fuck you
So
mean?
that put into me like, all right, bet. So if y'all not gonna get me the shit that they got, then I'm gonna have to figure out
How to get
different
on
type of
myself.
hustles to
Yep.
get it. And that was me being like 11, 12, 13, figuring out, all right, we gonna cut some grass.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's
I
when
was,
they clicked. Like,
cut that
okay.
grass.
I was
Shuffle
12
them
years
driveways.
old going to Pokemon tournaments and convinced the nigga that ran the tournaments and owned a card shop to let me and my cousins start cutting his grass for $100 every time we would do it.
What?
Yep.
Not 5,
No.
not 10. The normal child rates.
Nah. I need this $100.
I need this 100.
And got it though.
This nigga 12 saying 100. I need this 100.
Yeah. I mean,
How would you caught it when you was 12?
So I will admit to a level spoiled that I was. I've always been really focused on. Well, when I was younger, I was really, really focused on money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I was paid to write my name. I refused to write my name. Like, acknowledge that I knew how to write it. Until they were like, well, I'll pay you this amount if you can learn how to write your name. So the next week I wrote my name and cashed my check. Yeah. So, if you're going to offer me monies, I'll figure it out. But now you got to offer me options.
Right.
Because money is only good for providing options. So, I mean, if you can provide those too, that's cool. So, money or options now. Because at first it was just like I just wanted money for the sake of money. And now I'm like, money don't really mean shit if you ain't got no plans for it. Then it's just, you don't spend it and then you have no money. Back to broke. Oh, like Young Jock. He's driving Uber.
Who?
Young Jock.
Jock.
Young Jock?
Yeah, you remember with a flip over?
You didn't see Young Jock driving Uber? I'll show you, because you look real confused.
He said it so fast. I thought he said Ong Bak. I'm like, Tony Jaa? Doing the Uber? Y'all really want to know what happened in my space.
Jock.
Damn, I'm like, damn, Tom's keep she that bad, Tony Jaa.
Why not? What if he's
It's going down.
in the crab,
It's going down.
in the Uber?
No, I think my mother got a Girly Zoe album. No way, I think she got that album. Oh, shit.
And then I also want to know if y'all thought this video was real after y'all.
You sound like somebody I know. You sound like somebody I know.
And the Nissan though?
I don't know. What's your name?
That's what his name is.
Are you? I just want to ask a question. Are you in your Can you turn around? Oh, so you must have fell off or something. Like, why?
Damn.
I'm trying to figure out. Like,
So this nigga fell out because he driving for Uber. He said it was easy money to just be riding around town.
Meet people, you know.
Like, my question is, like, how could someone clown a black man?
Yeah, so what do y'all think? Do y'all think that's real? Do you think it's a real video first?
I don't think so.
Huh.
How you just gonna come out and say, "Damn, you fell down"? Like, well, maybe people are really that ignorant.
I mean,
No, I don't feel real. I don't feel genuine. Like
If it
somebody
was
was trying to
real-
sneak their phone. Like,
yeah, like, I don't
hey,
think.
y'all, this young jock.
Because, I mean, something like that would go viral. So it could be a attention thing. Like cloud chasing. Just shit people pay attention on.
Yeah, because when you see somebody, you gonna stealthily try to be like,
And so he said he's ride sharing to teach kids about an honest living.
that's a pretty grown up thing to do.
I mean, that's cool too. I mean, that's what it is. Hey, nigga, do what you do.
If he doing it,
But
for
do you
real,
think
so
that
it's-
he did all of this
I
just
think he
to
could
get
have
the
done
attention?
something else. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole
That
point
was
of it
like-
is like,
it was like
I'm
a little-
humble enough to say, hey, if I need to make the money, I'll go out and do it honestly.
Yeah, so do you
Other
think
than
that other
all the
video
shit that I was
was just to
probably
get the
talking about
attention for
before.
this?
Yeah, duh.
Cause like, if that's the case, right? What he just said, talking about ride sharing, right? And if you look at all like the little thumbnails for this, is like Jock drives Uber. Oh, Jock spotted doing this, this, and that. It's like
How effective do y'all think that's gonna be though?
people
Instead of
like
him
Jock
just
doing what? Let me see this, and then you get 4.8, 9.3,
how effective y'all think that is?
46. Like it's, I mean, that got 29. And that, it's only because like
1,000. Those are in thousands. That's what he's talking about. the number of views.
I forgot it. Yeah.
I that's why I finished it off.
Yeah, I'm
with
like,
everybody's
'cause
like,
I mean, I
Still
feel like
doesn't
it's effective to a point in which. Oh well, are you talking about the ride sharing or the cloud?
It's
chasing?
tactic to get to say to a young
I
kid
mean-
like, you ain't got to be out here dealing drugs and all that shit.
I don't know if that's the
Running Uber.
truth. I think it might have just been for him to get on,
Yeah.
or just because he want to be back in like conversation. Because you know,
Mhm.
like he did the thing where he
Straightened his
had
hair.
that wig
Yeah.
thing, or I don't know if it was actually his hair.
No,
straightened or
that
if
was
he-
his hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Swear
yeah,
got a
he did
perm.
that.
The
Yeah.
I told you to flip over.
Yeah, so I just think that he do like stuff that's outlandish, or not even outlandish, that people wouldn't expect for someone that they deem as a celebrity or famous
Mhm.
to do, and so then it garners him more attention since his music doesn't right now, and maybe this helps his music streams. If you're thinking about it, you might go back and listen to that song. Oh, I remember that shit I used to fuck with. I'm gonna go stream his music. He broke. You get pity
The
stream,
fuck?
you get pity streams and nostalgia streams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nostalgia.
I'm not gonna go listen to it, but yeah. This was like
Yeah.
10 years ago. I might have.
I think it's a better opportunity out there.
But no,
to
I do
give
have
young kids, like, instead of you just preaching, look what I did. Look, he said, look at me. Come on now, bro. You're just a little bit too old to be doing look at me's, my nigga. Can you open up a school or something? Like,
No,
go to Africa and open up a school.
I'll say, yeah, he did.
Actually, that just
definitely
reminded
hit a
me.
Look at me.
All the like people that goes to Africa and open up schools and shit, I think it's like big money in that shit. Cause what the fuck Cardi B doing to open up a school in Africa? I think it's money out there, like taxes.
I'll say, yeah, definitely gonna get money from it.
Yeah.
You probably get a tax break for philanthropic work, and so developing less fortunate countries, things like that, probably all falls under that umbrella. So if you put that there, then the IRS can't tax that money. So you get taxed on less of what you really made, which is what that's why there's a lot of charity and shit like that happens in the billionaire circle, because it's all about taxes and them moving their money around. Because if it's just straight income, they'll get taxed at a
Hella
pretty
hard.
high percentage. But if they move it around and invest it, put it into charities and things like that, it's still counted, but it's taxed differently, so they get better. It's them keeping the money to themselves and not spreading it around to the government, basically.
Or it's like how CenturyLink provides like
But I also do agree that there's probably something in Africa going on because
Well, think
Akon
about it.
just
Like,
started his new Akon City.
I was just about to say
popped
that
up.
about how Amazon gets actually cornered the market on providing internet to places that don't have it, or like how CenturyLink provides internet to motherfuckers that live in rural countries. That's what I want to do. I don't
I'm
like
not-
being with the curve and shit like that. I'm trying to find shit that's like that to
I mean,
invest in.
that's part of what that whole like Starlink thing
But
is
that's
about
what China
too.
is doing. China's been investing in Africa.
Yeah, that's what type of money I'm trying to get. The first one to do it, money, not the fucking 15th.
Shit, if you top 5, you good.
Yeah.
You gotta be the first, shit. Niggas that bought Bitcoin while we was in high school in 07 weren't the first, but shit.
I was gonna buy Bitcoin, and then damn, mutual friends convinced me not to do it because I had like $10 worth, and when it was just dirt cheap, I'm like, I'll take my $20 and buy some because I was really like adamant about it. Then I didn't.
I should have. I didn't know about it at the
I did.
time.
I was watching hella
Yeah, I didn't
documentaries
know
on this
about
shit.
it
I'm
either.
like, yo, I want this shit. I'm gonna do it. Then I didn't.
That's what you get.
That
listening
money
to
just
niggas.
throw around in high school.
That was my first lesson in listening to niggas.
Don't. Niggas don't know what they talking about.
All right.
But I do have one amazing topic that I wanted to get y'all opinion on.
Okay.
So, Stephen King got dunked the other day today because he said that he would never consider diversity when it comes to matters of art, only quality. To do otherwise would be wrong to him. What do you think about that?
That makes sense. I'm not focused on trying to be politically correct in my art, nigga. The fuck? If me personally, I'm going to write about what I know. Negros. I'm not trying to fucking have a political, even with a black people's plight, I'm not putting political things in my writings. That's just not what I do. Stephen King's not a political writer. He's a horror writer who
Yeah.
knows what white dudes would do in a horror fiction.
Twitter was all mad at him. And Twitter was mad at him. Charlemagne.
Yeah,
had,
Martin
like,
Scorsese said that too. He was like, why?
Right.
Why would I do that?
Like, I mean, you saying that, I just thought about it. I'm like, I never thought about like diversity and
Yeah, like,
my
I need a
stories.
white woman in here
Like,
for whatever
I've thought
reason.
I've thought about it, but not for the sense of anything outside of just having like just
If it didn't have nothing to do with their story,
Yeah,
like,
no,
I just
it
want
had
this
nothing,
character.
Like, it doesn't change anything. It's just
Yeah, it wasn't like a political statement.
no, it's just extra
Other than
different.
everybody
looking.
that's PC,
or a
you a
different
fucking life
variation.
sucker. You take the fun out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was just interesting. It's like Angela was like, "I'm so disappointed." I'm like,
For what?
if y'all clearly can't be like artists, because I'm not considering everybody else when I'm making my art. And then Charlamagne was like, "Well, you talked about how you wrote Carrie to illustrate how the power of women and how men really have like fears of women and power and strength like that." But that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he used what he knew. White fucking
he-
females.
and he showed it. And I'm sure that he made decisions that were based off of the art
Mm-hmm.
to get that message across. He's like, I'm not going to sacrifice my art to do something. And I don't think that's wrong. If I can't figure out how to do it to the best of my artistic ability, which I know what that is. If I feel like this is B grade, I'm not going to give B grade just so I can be diverse or politically correct when I feel like I could give you some A grade or S class shit. I don't know. Niggas was mad though, so I just wanted to see how
I mean,
like,
that's
other writers
understandable.
and like artists thought. I was like, I think this is dumb, and I don't think that I would consider diversity in my writing. Where like I have like I guess different type of relationships, but like even if I had someone that, let's say, was female presenting but actually a male, or vice versa in my story, it probably is not inspired or has anything to do with any political notion. You know where it probably comes from? Anime. And the characters that they use and what they call them is, and not to be offensive, but they call the characters traps.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a character type for them. And so they'll play on, and they do it a lot, like when they do like historical like reenactment, they'll change the gender of people. Like a lot of male generals become women. Like there's a female Oda Nobunaga. What's her name? The evil
Arthur.
Titania is fucking used to be a salaryman in her previous life, and it became a chick. So it's like they play with that all the time. So that's where my inspiration from that would come. Nothing to do with political, and so I would only do it if I felt like, all right, this is going to be something that artistically I can do well. I wouldn't be trying to go down, like, I feel like if your art calls you to speak about diversity, then that's cool, do that.
Right.
But if that's not what my art is, then
Then why the
Why
fuck
y'all
is you trying to
mad?
bully me
Right.
and
Like,
have your opinions tell me about what the fuck I'm
especially
producing?
Since I write fiction.
yeah, like, I write horror fiction, and you niggas keep
Right.
making my fucking movies.
Right. Loving them.
Like, I'm chilling. I
Stop
make books,
talking to
and
me.
all y'all niggas do is keep making these into
You
movies.
see how they trying to rob like creativity now?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Yeah, you saw Carrie too, huh?
It's
Right.
just this
The
super
remakes
sick.
of both of them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they are trying to rob creativity though.
Like you just can't like no, that's not okay. Like what the fuck? Like what? This nigga's just so punkified. That's what I said. How could just take it to black people? We need an economic plan and we need all this shit. But you niggas need trigger warnings and diversity, and you get excited when a nigga wear they fro on TV. Like, I don't want to be a part of no economic plan or have nobody leading me if that shit excites you. I'm sorry, I just don't want to be a part of it. Like, that's why sometimes I'm just like, people are dumb. And they're very sheepish, and they need somebody to tell them what to do and how they lead their lives. And like I said, creativity that's not what we here for as a creative person. Like, I'm not here to consider your feelings about my art at all. No one asked you. What do I be sitting there thinking like, oh, my story needs a white man because of this, huh? I don't know no white lady's life. I don't know what it's like to be a white lady. I don't know what it's like to be a white man. I don't know that life. I'm sorry. Y'all got some cool ass shit that y'all produce, but I don't know what it's like to be you. Stephen King wouldn't know what it's like to be a black dude either, or a black woman. So what is he gonna write about? You ever think about that? Like, what if he just don't know? Cut the man some slack. What is he gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna write about? Nigga, what the fuck? You gonna write about how your mom cooked the steak in the broiler? No. Her mom probably did the right white American thing and cooked it on the grill or some shit. Like, what about your hair getting straightened? Like, those little subtle things. Like, growing up, I realized, like, and Earl Sweatshirt put that shit so eloquently. And he said that you was, or too white for the black kids and too black for the white kids. That's like one of my favorite lines, because I was always in that weird old gray area where I couldn't fit in either one of those groups. And going back to him being inclusive and in diversity, this nigga don't have a diverse life. Sorry, he just don't.
Also, well, I guess on brand with that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a woman who was a writer, and she was fired after she made made some public comments on views about gender and like the transgender community. So
What did she say?
I don't know. That's not important because
Okay.
she's not the person we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So J.K. Rowling went on
God. Here we go
Instagram
again.
and supported the woman who got fired and everything, and like basically went on Instagram and supported the woman, saying that she shouldn't have lost her job for speaking her views and shit like that or whatever. And so then Twitter did what Twitter does and attacked J.K. Rowling. So what do y'all think about that?
She been in a lot of shit lately.
So J.K. Rowling said that this, or so this lady said something speaking out against transgender.
Yeah, I don't know what the lady said. We don't
Basically, the woman made where is it at?
I get what you're saying. Like, I guess it really don't matter because they scream so much. How about they open-minded and tolerance and stuff like that? And
it says UK Gov consultation on reforming the Gender Recognition Act poses to dramatically change scope of the law from requiring medical diagnosis of gender dysphoria for changing of sex on birth certificates to using the basis of self-identification. I share the concerns of the Fair Play women that radically expand the legal definition of women so that it can include both males and females, makes a meaningless concept and will undermine women's rights and protections for vulnerable women and girls.
So she basically said the truth. Like, how you gonna have a man and women's rights, my nigga? Did you hear yourself? So yeah, like I said, they spout like they want to be open-minded and things like that, and inclusivity and all that shit. And yeah, we have open opinions and shit like that. Nah, it didn't serve you this time, so now you mad.
Yeah, and so
fucking
basically,
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
J.K. Rowling said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating sex is real. I stand with Maya. This is not a drill." Oh, those were the hashtags. Hashtag I stand with Maya. Hashtag this is not a drill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, y'all thoughts about that?
Yeah, woke Twitter be so sleep.
Twitter irritates me, but like, I don't know how to go about this. I'm not mad at her, I guess. Like, I wouldn't, if I would have saw this on Twitter, I wouldn't have given a comment. I would have just, oh, okay, kept it rolling. But like, I need people, like,
I felt that.
I don't know, cause like, I see where she's coming from in the sense that it's like, y'all, you want to do what you want to do. You want to live your life how you want to live your life. That's fine. But you are taking it to a point in which you're trying to erase completely off the scope of what you ever were before and become something new. I get that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're trying
fucking lines.
Yeah, you flipped it, but at the same time, like, it's like, when it comes to certain things, that's not a thing. Like, when it comes to medical situations and things of the sense, like, no matter how much you inject or take this or hormones or anything like that, biologically, you're still a male or female.
Yeah, we was talking about that the other day. Like, yo, do you still gotta pump your dick up to fuck? You not a fucking dude.
So, like, certain things. So, like, I see where they're coming from when it comes to certain things. And then doing that also, like, got men who transition to women could also slip into women's rights and, like, their benefits that are strictly for women, because now there's no record of you ever being a male outside of, like, a biological.
I'm telling you, the extreme left,
so I
don't
see what
hear
she's saying.
themselves.
So I understand. I get it.
Speak.
So I don't know.
I think that's gaslighting on a global scale. Like, how am I supposed to look at my child and be like, I remember Riley would ask questions like that. This when we went to his bookstore, this lady was pretty androgynous looking. She was like, "Is that a boy or a girl?" I'm like, "That's a girl." And then I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, but you a girl." So she was like, "No, it's okay." I'm like, "I know it's okay, bitch. I'm about to lie to my daughter." Or when she see like trannies walking by, she was like, "Mom, what is that?" I would start laughing, covering my mouth
because she
I'm
said
like,
that.
yeah, I'm like, no, that's a man that's dressed like a woman. For you telling your kids in this generation keep trying to blur the lines between things, like, you gaslighting your kid. That's, to me, that's like lying about Santa Claus, even worse, like 10 times worse. Okay. Like, you telling me to look at something. If I looked at you and then I told my kid or I told myself, like, oh, he identifies as such and such, but I'm gaslighting myself because clearly you a dude. That, like, that don't bother people. Like, nigga, that's mind control times any way worse than what marketing could do. I can convince you of anything if I could look at a man or woman and be like, no, they're not a man or a woman. or they whatever they're choosing to be. Like, what else could the media convince you of, my nigga?
Man, yeah.
You just gonna be that feeble-minded? Okay.
I mean, but it don't really matter if they want to be something else.
Don't.
Nah, if you want to be a man, dude, cool.
If
But
you
then
want
I
to.
think that,
Don't ask me what you are. I'm not gonna lie to myself.
but I don't think people ask you what they are.
You don't. But if you do,
But they generally just want you to call them what they would like to be called. I don't think that's the issue.
no, I don't think everyone's ever like, oh, can you call me a female? I guess.
Out of respect for you.
Yeah, like I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I mean, it doesn't bother me to do so. So I mean,
But yeah, she didn't apologize or take down her tweet or any of the
Good.
normal like things that
I
happen after
mean, she
cancel culture.
grown.
You know, I was just because I was reading into it and it was like
Right.
she's like
I'm not
refused to
backing
do
down.
any of the things that
Mhm.
normally happen after you get attacked by like social media. She declined to like reach out and speak to the PR people and apologize or anything like that. They're like, nah, we're not doing that.
Because realistically, what they gonna do to J.K. Rowling? Cancel her?
She sitting
Nigga,
back
you
sipping
can't
out of that
cancel
goblet
me.
of fire.
You know, it's just wild.
They tried to like a couple months ago. What's some
Yeah,
shit?
that's how successful that was. Not very. I never looked at like J.K. You ever looked at somebody and been like, damn, nigga, that nigga canceled.
It was along the same. It was somewhat
I
along the
can't
same
fuck with
lines
you
because it
'cause
was
you
like
canceled.
it was something about homosexuality. I think it was like a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
People believing she was homophobic or something like that.
Like, they're mad that she didn't write about the character's sexuality in her story. But then
Oh,
after
yeah.
the story, like, was like, well, Dumbledore was gay and things like that. And so they're like, oh, why would you reveal it now but not put it in your story?
Yeah.
Because it didn't have anything to do with the story.
Mhm.
When would I
See?
when would I have needed to see Dumbledore kiss another man or hold his hand? Or give any signal or indication towards his sexuality?
Mhm.
That didn't make him any more or less of an amazing character. I love Dumbledore. I don't care who he's fucking.
Sexuality. This sounds so dumb. What do
mean-
that matter? What do that have to do with anything?
And that's the thing. It,
Well,
like,
I guess
I'm pretty sure
should
it
take
didn't-
the other side and be like, well, we can say that because we have I guess we're on the side of the non-oppressed, so of course it doesn't matter to us because we always see ourselves on media.
Ain't you bothered about like how sexualized they want everything to be? What's his sex? What is he? What does he like to do? Like, why are you so concerned about sex in a kid's book, you fucking morons? I'm sorry. That's so annoying. Why are you worried about sexualizing a wizard?
Well, I guess one of their reasons is because they, the LGBTQ community identified with Harry Potter because to them it was a story about someone being something that no one else believes that they were, or knowing that they were different, and then being accepted by a community of people that they belong to. So it's like a coming out book to them.
Harry literally lived like under the stairs in a little closet.
Yeah, so for them, they draw a lot of parallels from Harry Potter and themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you drawing parallels
That's a personal
should
thing.
influence
Yeah.
my art.
Yeah, that's a personal thing on a personal level. Like, I thank y'all for revering my books like that. But at the end of the day, it's a personal, very personal.
I mean, at the end of the day, it ended up being like it was. It's like people give you like just random backstories. Like George Lucas did it. Well, he just turned it all into TV shows and movies and shit like that. But like, people give you little bits and things about characters because you got fans. Something that
Right.
no one else would have known. It's like,
Like,
oh,
Oda drops tankobons. Like there's these,
Yeah.
there's little information books that tell you more about the characters.
yeah. So it's like, and that was just something that's him. That's who he was. And that's what it was. It wasn't important. Like you said, it was not important to the story. It wasn't relevant for any reason. It didn't have shit to do with Harry. So, like, why do y'all need to do?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yes, I do
Live
think
your lives. Yeah.
that if people want to give representation, or that's the thing that they're doing in their art is showing these things. I think that's great. But I don't think that people should be penalized for not.
Right.
And I guess that's more so going back to the Stephen King point. As far as J.K. Rowling voicing her opinion, I feel like everybody is entitled to one. I feel like if you disagree with her, have a debate with her, and not a let's just say crazy mean things, and because now we don't like what you got to say and so we're upset. Because, I mean, how are we ever going to get to any level of understanding is all you niggas do is get in your feelings and then just go on the attack because now you don't want to talk.
Right.
We're not going to get nowhere like that. So that's all I got to say about that. Like, I don't feel no way about what she said. I'm not a part of the community, so if it's wrong, chastise her in a beat her in a verbal debate. If this is a wrong way of thinking and you can articulate that, then do so. But I don't think that, I feel like all of the 2010s was about like cancel culture.
Yeah, like in the later half.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, I don't remember any of that shit till like later on.
But I think it was building up to that. I think it was
Yeah.
us getting adjusted to learning our own power on the internet. And then once we figured it out, motherfuckers started to wield it.
Yeah, that speaks to like human nature when it just starts getting this masturbatory ass.
Goddamn trolls.
I think I have control over my page and I can say whatever I want.
Yeah,
and
then
it
because
just
at
starts
first it used to
beating
be,
off.
like,
I can't do it.
it wouldn't be a full cancel culture, but you know how you and your friends would go on like cyber jumping of somebody if they didn't have the same opinion as you. You and all your friends in their comments and y'all going off on them because clearly they're stupid and shit like that. So it just evolved from that to now it's not.
Now we could do it
just-
with the celebrities.
Yeah, we could do it to everybody. No one is safe. I don't even know you.
Safe.
You just put this
I can
opinion
get
out
to you, but-
and so I can get to you. So I have things to say now, and so
Pretty
I will.
much.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's just a circle joke every fucking
That was like
opinion.
before social media, we couldn't get to celebrities like that.
Yeah, like remember I watched this
We weren't
video
connected like that at all.
called "The
get to
Death
each
of the
other like
Internet."
that.
He was
Fuck
like, "Yo,
celebrities.
Right.
that would be obscene to put your real name and your fucking picture on the internet." Like when we had like 4chan and like MySpace and stuff like that. Like your avatar was never you,
Yeah.
and your name was never your name.
That's
That's
crazy.
suicide. Now it's just like normal.
Yeah. People.
Because people gotta know who you are. I can't get famous if
They
they
don't.
don't know,
They don't know who
I am.
They don't know who you are. They know your representative.
Yeah, they know
your
my representative. You
Yeah.
know what I want you to see. Yeah, like
And
okay.
that's why I devalue social media. It's like this is real life to y'all because y'all choose to engage it so much, but it's not real life in the sense that it doesn't and shouldn't dictate how you feel or live, and it does for y'all, and that's a problem. If you don't get enough likes, people don't like what you're saying, what you're doing. Now you feel bad about yourself, and I don't understand.
I was gonna bring that up about how I don't know how to frame this topic because it's not about relationships or sex or anything. It's about, I guess, no, that was something different. I guess like we live in just this constant dopamine hit, constantly. Like even with masturbating, with how many likes we have, the food that we eat, like it's just a constant dopamine hit for us all the time. And I was just thinking about how lazy like we became, and how being like me being a creative person, not that I feel like I should be farther along in my my endeavors, but I guess no, that's not the point I was trying to get across. I guess, how do y'all feel about, this is a different topic, but I just wanted to say that. But I'm like, does that tie in? No, because these were just abstract topics that I wanted to tie in together, and I'm realizing they're not.
I mean, we can go on to your topics though, because that's all I really had. That was my last one.
But I guess I wanted to bring up like hustle culture and what that means for us, because when we talk about writing and shit like that, do y'all feel like pressure, like y'all should be farther behind, or like I'll have all these big ideas, like it's not guaranteed for us. Like you got a marketing degree, if you wanted to go to marketing, are you guaranteed a job? Yeah, for the most part, like someone's gonna hire you because of that degree. For us, it's not really guaranteed that someone's gonna look at our art and be like, oh, I need to produce this on a mass scale, and then you got to worry about people looking at it. So I don't know, like hustle culture in general is like, you know, you'll sleep when you dead. What else is it? This constant need to be productive, but you're not really doing anything.
I don't agree that you're not really doing anything. I think
Okay.
I think there's a section of people who fall into the fake hustle culture that like to talk about all the things that they're doing, and you never really see like products or results. But I think that hustle culture is real, and that realistically, it's not. I guess the saying is obviously you sleep when you're dead, but I think that the meaning is more so that you rest when you have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in the position that you want to be, then you realistically don't have the time to be resting.
True.
Because what are you resting for? Like, what have you really done?
And I guess that tied in with the dopamine thing. Like, if you constantly masturbate, or like in my case, like if I'm eating food just for the fuck, like all these things give us these chemical reactions to be like, oh, I've given myself a reward. Even if you just worked all the time, like say at the end of the day, like one of my traps was, that might be too much information, but when I would lay down, my instinct was to be like, oh, I need to go to sleep. I gotta masturbate. Like there's nothing here. Like, oh, grab your phone. Like, I need to go to sleep. So it's like I'm rewarding myself, but what am I really rewarding myself for? And these just constant hits of like this kind of dopamine drive. I'm like, God damn, wait a second. What am I rewarding myself for after this? Like, that's what your body recognizes after you do these things.
So I think that those are two different points.
Yeah, that's two different points.
Yeah,
But I
I
was
feel
just
like
thinking.
hustle culture is a different point, but onto the dopamine point.
Mm.
I feel like we do live in a dopamine society where people are more focused on feelings of gratification and satisfaction more than exploring. They're more interested in quick outs to gratifications instead of exploring more permanent solutions to those sources, or something that doesn't necessarily give you that spike of high, like boom, instantly, but realistically is going to be more gratifying over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Like probably if like you've always wanted to go to college or something like that, or you want to get your associate degree, that's going to probably be a lot more gratifying over a longer period of time.
It'd be more
But
worth it though.
what's going to be more instantly gratifying is you masturbating, being on your phone, and kicking it. Like, you're not going to get that gratification until like years later.
Right.
You got to work for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not invested in the work in society as a whole. Like, the dopamine and the pleasure culture is not invested in the work for long-term gratification, especially when short-term gratification is so easy to get now.
You think that should like affect your creativity or creative endeavors at all? Like the fact that, like, say I notice, like, because I'm constantly rewarding myself for not doing a motherfucking thing, like that shit makes me lazy. Like, what do I have to? I can do it later, or I don't have to do it now. Like, now you got to push yourself even harder. And I know people talk about this constant, like, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. But change is super fucking hard. And no one ever talks about how hard change is at all. No one ever says, like, yeah, you had this idea in your head and you're going to implement it. But just, like, getting started sometimes is super, like, your mind is so used to doing things a certain way. And no one ever talks about how hard change is.
I would agree with that. I would say that you can cut that off.
My reptilian friend.
But what was I gonna say? I think that change is hard, and getting to a place of change and recognizing you change are two completely different things. Because you might recognize that you need to change and not be ready to make that change.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely get that, but I feel like I don't know. I lost my point. Say what you said again.
What?
I said, say what you said again. I feel like I lost my point.
I feel like I don't remember what I said.
All right,
All
Marcus,
right.
go in there.
So yeah, so change is hard to implement. It's because you'll get into a habit, or not even sometimes it's a habit. It's just things that, like you said, dopamine brings you along. It's like I want that instant gratification. Instant gratification comes along a lot quicker
Now I remember her question.
than. There you go.
All right, perfect.
I had like 15 different questions because I'm like.
Because no,
"Damn,
you
I don't
asked
know."
me, do I feel like that
Oh, okay.
influences or like detracts from my creativity?
Yeah.
And so I would say that I've come to recognize like how my energy flows. And so I have very high energy in the morning. Then usually around 3 to about 7, my energy's kind of low. And so if I don't really have anything to do, I'm just kind of But then around from 7 it starts to pick back up, and then I'm feeling like another energy swell around midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm back in my like a creative area. But like right now, like I said, I'm looking for like a job, and I'm like just doing targeted looking. So like I'm not accepting a whole lot of interviews if they're not like meeting some very specific requirements.
Right.
So that requires me to do a lot of just like focusing on like, all right, let me look at this job, see what y'all say, see what kind of like pay this is gonna be, and things like that. So a lot of research and applications and like job assessments. So I feel like all my like mental and creative energy is going towards that. But I still wake up like I decided that I wanted to start waking up earlier. So I've been waking up around 7:30 in the morning every day. Just because I feel like I want that to be like a newer habit that I'm instilling in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like since I noticed that the morning is my like peak creativity time, then I want to like embrace that and like be involved in that. And so I also noticed that I am more creative when I'm not inside of like a familiar territory or a comfortable territory. I can't say familiar. If it's comfortable and it feels like relaxation, I won't work as hard as I would if I'm like out and about, or if I'm in a classroom, or if I'm in an office or somewhere else that's just not like a normal setting for me.
Yeah, comfortability gives you dopamine.
Yeah.
You just want to kick it.
Dopamines. Some motherfucking dopamine.
Yeah, so for me I would say I try to like avoid things like that, but I don't think that I needlessly, well, I could say yeah. Like I say, sometimes I do engage in like needless, and that is harder to change. But for me, it's harder to change because sometimes I'm bored. Like during the 3 to 7 period, I'm really, really bored.
That do be the wackest time of the day.
And I'm just trying to like engage my brain, and I'm just like, there's nothing to.
That energy is like transfer energy from 3 to 7. It just feel like everything's switching over, and
I
it's
don't
the
know.
weirdest time of
Like
the day.
the only time in the day I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 7 is just like, it's something about that little span in time that just make you want to be like,
I'm always
ugh.
at fucking work when I want to go to
I
sleep.
hate that time of the day. Like when
It doesn't
7 o'clock,
matter
7 to 8
what I'm
o'clock kick,
doing.
I can feel like,
Yeah, from 3 to 7, I'm like scouring YouTube and trying to just find
yeah, like
something
everything
to like.
it's been uploaded.
Yeah, I'm just looking for something that's like stimulating that I can like. All right, I can engage with this on a mental level, and that's gonna keep me interested. But it's usually really hard, and there's nothing or not too much. And I'm just like, you know what? This is all shit.
And when I write, or when I get like more so like inspiration to write, because what I write about is like, it's majority about like love and sex. And I'm usually, if I write poetry about love and sex, and then usually if I'm just kind of journaling about how I feel those are, even then, like, those are all like spikes of those are like more so like inspiration moments for me. But like as far as writing like my books and stuff like that, I know I gotta develop my skill. So that's the part where it becomes work and my brain's like, right now. I'm like, yeah, bitch, right now we got things we want to do. But I guess what kind of changed my mind about what I put out, what my output is as a creative person, was someone said like, people are so, or creative people can get caught up in
Perfection.
not so much perfection, is that they not creating something that's meaningful. Like, you just think because you're a creative person, you just gotta do something to make money from it. Like, what was the meaning in your work? Like, what does your story mean? Does it have like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have like did you write this story because when I was a kid, like I really felt this way about something, I kind of was going to explore it? Or like we was talking about character studies, or like them niggas just love to make music. I mean, not music, but movies. When I was like, my favorite directors always write their movies as well, and that takes like a certain amount of just love for movies. Like, all my directors just say, I just love making movies. I'm not necessarily, of course you want income from what you love to do, but you can tell like they would have done it either way. Like, I know I'd still be writing either way. I'm not trying to look for my writing to become, I don't write for fame and glory, to be honest. That's not my goal. I would like that to be it, but I understand like it's just something that I need to do. And I wonder sometimes, like, do y'all feel like what y'all write or what y'all put out in the world has a meaning to it? Even if it means something to you, that's one thing, but do you feel like what you're writing and what you're putting out in the world is meaningful? Like, somebody can identify with this, somebody can learn and grow from your stuff.
I don't care about that.
No?
Not at all.
Okay.
I feel like it has to mean something to me. And as long as it means something to me, I don't really care how it's received. And I think that if I did, then that would be a hindrance to the way that I work. Because then I would be too much into like, well, how are people going to receive this? And how is this going to like cross over? Is this going to translate well? Are they going to get the meaning that I want them to? And I don't want to write like that. That's not the type of intentional writing that I want to do. I want to write an intentional story where you are more in awe about the depth of like world building, or the different types of character creation and like their backgrounds, and just how full the world is and how it feels lived in.
Yeah.
I just want to express my art. If you connect with it, I think that's amazing, but I don't think that that's my goal. I feel like my goal is mostly to express myself.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, I don't really care about that in a sense, because like, just take it from a different point of view. Me and cooking, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to me and food, if you're not gonna eat what I'm cook, leave it alone. Don't ask me to take nothing out. Leave it alone. Just don't eat it. And I got into an argument one time with somebody because they was like, "Oh, that's crazy." And then you go to the restaurant and they changed basically the whole dish. They wanted that dish, but they took all this stuff out of it and changed all the things around. It's like, it's not the dish anymore. You just ordered something else completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. In his restaurant, it's like either order what's on the menu or don't order. And that's just is what it is. And I'm like, me and her got into an argument, and I'm like, I feel it. You fucking it, like, because to people like that, it's like you're fucking with my art. It's like, I give you this painting, and you're like, well, I don't like that. I'm gonna cross this out and put this here. The fuck are you doing? What is your problem? No.
Side note, I cooked for my chef.
Yeah,
friends,
I'm in the same lines with him. Like, nah, don't.
Yeah, it kind of gave me like this conundrum of between like, I'm not gonna say like, that's obviously not my first intention, is to make someone else happy with my work. But I guess it kind of did put it in perspective for me of just asking like, why am I doing it? Or maybe,
I think that's a legitimate question. Why are you doing it? Or are you doing it just for money? Like, I don't think you should just be doing it for money.
mm-hmm.
But I think that's where it stops. I don't think that it goes into I feel like
Money's like
when you start moving it into what you have to give to other people, you start moving it into that PC culture.
Yeah.
Because then it's like what Stephen King said. It's like, why do I have to consider diversity when it would taint the integrity of my art? When my first thought should be about what my art is and how I want it to be the best that it can be. And if that's what this looks like to me, then that's what this looks like to me.
Do you think it's like wrong to say like, damn, I want to write a book and I want it to be successful. I want people to see it. That's like the weirdest
No, why?
thing. No.
Not at all.
In that sense, you weren't doing it for you were doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you having your own personal thing. It's mine.
Like,
it wasn't for the world.
I mean, like, if you write
If you write a book and you want to get it published, now you want, like, I don't know, like, damn, is it normal to feel guilt because of that? Like, because I feel like we're talking about the same thing. Like, now I want people to read my shit.
Well, I think,
and I want this to be successful so I can live some type of way. Like, you know, like those little subtle things. Like, damn, is this?
But I think that's different. I think that in one instance, whatever you do in life, you would hope that it allows you to be secure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's selfish, because if you weren't being creative and you were going to work at Taco Bell and giving niggas sandwiches and fucking tacos, you would still expect a paycheck.
Right.
Like, I feel like if you're doing something and people like it, or if you're doing something and you hope that people like it, I don't think that that's wrong. Like, no, I don't think that's wrong. I feel like if you hope that people like your shit, then that's just what it is. I hope people like my shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to change it to make them like it. And I think that's what the difference is. I think that if you're willing to compromise your art for people to like it, then you're doing it for the check.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I don't know if y'all know this term, like that'd be like you're chasing a single.
Yeah.
Like, so you know when an artist is chasing a single.
Yeah.
Like their sound changes. It becomes more poppy. It's more of what you hear on the radio, shit like that. So you can chase a single, but that's not really your art. Or you can go and continue to do your art and garner the attention that you're going to garner, gain the fan base that you'll gain, and be satisfied with that. And I think that when you put an image to it, that's when it becomes more of like a self-serving thing and more selfish. It's like, I need my book to be enjoyed by this specific many people. Now you're doing it for a number.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing it for the monetary value. If you just want your book to be enjoyed by people, that could be 2 people, that could be 1 people, that could be 100 people. But anywhere in that spectrum, you satisfied because people enjoyed your book, and that's what you did it for. It wasn't so, oh, I will need 1 million people to enjoy this so I can get all this money. And if you get, let's say, 1,000 people that enjoy your first book, and you build upon that, and ultimately you got a core that of 10,000 people that when you write a book, all 10,000 people, they're gonna buy that book.
Mm-hmm.
If you selling a book and you got a good publisher, good split, or you self-publish, and because you can do that on Amazon and shit like that, you could make decent money if you get 10,000 people that buy your book and you sell it for $7.99. You made $70,000 a year off of writing books. And that could be your definition of success because people enjoy your shit. It doesn't have to look like, oh, I need to be the next Stephen King. I think that's hubris. I think like when you start comparing and being like, oh, I need this specific type of success.
Yeah.
Then you're not really worried about like what
you worried about
doing.
being somebody else. Yeah.
You want to be that.
You want to be that shit. That's his success. Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
And I guess I kind of get tired in with the hustle culture about how people now have taken like you took your hobby, your creative hobby, and now you're trying to make it into this business. Well, number one, what if you're not a business person? And number two, what if that should have just been your hobby? Do you think now like people are kind of being robbed of like, you got to get a fucking side hustle, nigga? Like
when it comes to that, I don't think it was ever Like a lot, cause like we were just talking about, like in that situation, for me, it's like, all right, if y'all appreciate it enough and y'all want to pay me for it, cool. If not, whatever.
I mean, I was.
But I wonder what you were just saying. I completely forgot what you just said.
Hustle culture.
And how being
your
a creative,
creativity
like,
and selling
all
it
right,
that
say
way.
if I just wrote, but I'm not, what if I'm not a business person? What if I don't know what if I have no ambition and drive to do that? Hustle culture is kind of saying, like, why would you want to work a 9 to 5? You could be doing this. You could write a motherfucking book, bitch. Like, whoa. What if I want to make jewelry just because I like making my own fucking earrings?
I feel like a lot of those creative types are like in their own little creative zone, and they are like sometimes approached and brought into those situations. It's like, oh, this is really amazing. You should,
Yeah.
da 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 da. And
Okay.
then their mindset is like, well, maybe is it really that good? And that whole little situation happens, and then now they're in this world where it's like, now I'm producing not just for me anymore or just for my love of it. I'm producing it for the need and the check and all that, in a sense.
I think that it's kind of both. I feel like what you're talking about is the social media hustle culture.
Yeah, I'm fucking memes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's what,
Girl boss memes.
yeah, that's
like,
what that sounds like. It sounds like the social media hustle culture. Like, you got to be doing this. You got to be grinding. You got to be focused. You got to da 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 da.
This is what millionaires do to become millionaires, motherfucker.
And I mean, like, I get a lot of that, and I can say some of it's true, some of it's not. But I would say, like, if in your hustle culture, your idea is to you writing books and that's all you want to do is write books, then fuck what everybody else is saying and don't sell them if you don't want to sell them, is what I would say. Because you don't have to have that as your side hustle. Like, if you want to have a hobby and it just be a hobby, I think that's fine. But I think that a lot of people would prefer that what is considered their hobby actually be the thing that they did for real life. And I think that even if you're just a creative and you don't know anything about business on certain levels, that just means that you build a team that's going to compensate for the strengths and weaknesses that you don't have. And you do the vice versa. Like, if you're the artist or the creative talent and you provide this thing that is marketable, but you don't know how to market it, and that's what you want to do, then I guess your step would be finding the other people around you and surrounding yourself. And I don't think that that's, like, being disingenuous to what you want to do. I think that if you love doing this, I love writing, and you understand that the reality of this situation is either I'm going to write for a living and do what I love for a living, or I'm going to do something that I don't care about for a living and potentially hate for a majority of the time, and my writing is eventually going to fall to the wayside because I'm eventually not going to have time for it, or I'm going to just not put enough time in it because I'm going to be tired, and this is going to take all of my energy and all of that. So I think that it's more of a practical choice. I don't think that it's people not living in there. I think it's a part of our society. It's you have to make money to live. It's not like you can just do what you want. And so why do this as a hobby and work 40 to 50 hours a week, have people talk to me crazy and do things that I don't like, whereas I could try my hand at doing something that I do like and see if I can make a living off of it. It produces a better life if you actually can sustain the work hours, the work ethic, and the engagement with that. Then, and if you're cool with that encompassing that creativity, I think that's fine. But I don't think that. I think that our society makes it so that you can't just be a pure creative without being willing to prostitute your skills.
Yeah, like you have to sacrifice
true.
something.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I can escape this. Like,
Yeah, it's capitalism. Like, unless you're
We
gonna go
can't
live in
escape
the
this
forest
at all.
and like hunt rabbits, like the dude in Venezuela was telling you, and then paint on your walls and shit, and use like real earth colors and shit like that, how they used to do back in the day, and mix up like pigments and shit. And that's where because I mean you're not gonna have no money.
It's a nigga mixing pigments.
So you're going to have to figure it out. So you're going to be writing and get your little chalk writings and shit
red,
like that.
Yellow, and blue.
But yeah, so
maybe a little green.
You're going to have to figure it out. Like, you could do it, but it's like, if that's the life you want to live, then you're going to be a hermit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to live and be a part of society, then you're going to have to either be comfortable with prostituting your skills out, because that is the only way that you can be a creative and sustain your own lifestyle, or you gonna prostitute your time out. But something's getting prostituted.
Something.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to escape that. And I'd be like, oh shit. Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't think that
something's gonna have to sacrifice here.
Yeah, so I don't think it makes us less of creative people because we have to like if we lived in a place where you didn't have to sell your art and niggas was just choosing to sell their art because they was like, nah, I'm about to get this money. I ain't got to do it. We all comfortable. We all good. But nah, my art isn't just to be shown. I think it's to be like sold privately, and I'm just doing this for the money of it. Then yeah, I think that you out for the money. You don't give a fuck about the craft or anything like that. But in society now, even if I care about the craft, I can't just do that, and
right.
I won't be here in 3 years.
True.
I'll be homeless.
Right.
So.
And that's why I think I set myself up to do something else. Like, I have businesses that don't really require me to be creative. And that was my biggest thing, because I don't think, even though that's a big part of my life, my key word was like, well, every business person asks you, like, well, why are you doing this? And at first it was a number. Now it's just a word. Like, I don't know what else would fall under the banner of how I'm going to create this life that I want. But I just knew my word was, like, freedom. Like, I know I want to be free to write, or I want to be free to travel wherever I want. And I didn't have to worry about certain things. And that's been my focus now that because I don't think I ever heard nobody ask me, like, well, why do you want to own a business until I start really getting into stuff. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, why do you want to do this? And I was like, I don't know. I want to be rich. I don't know. Like, I didn't create because of being rich, but like, well, why do you want to start these other businesses?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't know. I never thought about that. And it was like, well, you got to start thinking about that, because when shit get hard, and it will get very fucking tough, what are you going to have? Yeah.
And so I do agree with that. I do think that you need to have like a true passion for it, because if you're going to try and turn it into a business, then it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
You're going to fail a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to see a lot of no's.
You're not going to keep going on something you're not passionate about.
Yeah. Like, you're going to give up and be like, well, that's not going to make it. And I'm going to have to just do something else with my time and do that, because that wasn't really your goal. It was about the money. So if it's realistically about the money, you'll do whatever it takes to get to the money. So if it's just about the money and this is not giving you the money, you're going to leave this and do what it is for the money. So
it's not coming in fast enough.
But I think that's how you recognize the real artists and the ones that aren't, because, I mean, obviously there's a certain point where you have to do things to survive, but then you'll see the people that leave it way earlier than that. Like,
yeah,
you could have stuck in this, or you could have figured out a way to work part-time or work full-time and do this on the side and continue to try and build this up. But you were just like, no, I'm done with that. That didn't work, so I'm going to go do this over here that I know is going to give me a check. That's cool, but that means that wasn't your passion.
Right.
Or at least you're not focused, or you don't have enough self-belief in your passion that you think you can make it work. One of the two.
Yeah. You think sometimes we get wrapped up too much around that word passion? Because you can have some passionate sex, but that don't mean that nigga for you. Like, or you can feel passionate about your work, but what does that really mean?
I mean, sometimes it's a fleeting feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're in the moment.
I guess I use passion as just the word for your, like,
dedication to something.
Yeah, what you're really dedicated to.
Oh, okay.
Like, what you're dedicated on, what you're focused on, what really, like, speaks to you when you're doing it. And so I'm never in, like, a passionate fervor when I'm writing.
Yeah.
And it's never, like, any, like, passionate madness. Like, but I can say that I catch inspiration, and that fills me with, like, a sense of, like, energy and pride. And so I can say that's passion. Like deciding or making the decision that I'm adding like 20 different types of combat styles and just different martial arts in my story. So that way when I have it drawn out and animated, just the combat's more dynamic. It's not just like spells blasting around. It's real handed. It'll be a much more fluid show. And so that's interesting to me. Like that filled me with like a sense of passion to go find these things and do things like that. But I don't think that the impetus is like a fiery passion. It's more like a desire, I guess, and a cold focus. Like this is what I'm really, really interested in doing. And everything else feels secondary to me. And I've so far put myself in a position and mental state where I've ignored any other indicators that, hey, you could just stop doing this and do this shit over here and it'd be cool and just work here for a while and you can get this next level and you'll be fine. You'll just keep getting that money. But it's like money used to mean a lot to me. Like I said, like I used to do a lot for money, but now it's like money only provides options.
Yeah,
and so once I learned that,
pretty much,
and like how you were saying, like freedom, for me, the word is options. It's like I have the option to come and go as I please, to do this, to not. I have the option to not do that. I have the ability to say, no, I don't want to sell my work for this. And that's where I guess I want to work to the point, because I know I'm not at that point yet where right now I'll probably have to say a lot of yeses. Mm-hmm. But I want to get to the point where I make my art is profitable and I'm also in a position to tell people no. Because I think that would be a good position for me where I was like, no, I don't think I want to do that. And that no isn't going to like put me back or, well, obviously I won't gain that financial boost from saying that I would have saying yes, but it won't be like, damn, I didn't say that, so I don't know where my next check is going to come from or shit like that.
Yeah. That's perfect. Well, that's all for me.
Yeah, that's all I have. Y'all got another 2.5 hour episode. Look at y'all being too deep for the intro. Back to back. Y'all just talk a lot. I guess it's a podcast, what y'all supposed to do.
All right.
Good for y'all. I'm proud of y'all.
You proud of us? You talking to us? I thought you were just talking to the void.
I am. So you can acknowledge it or you could not. But we out of here. This has been Country Reconstruction, and they trying to get me to compliment them directly, and that's crazy. Crazy, crazy.